The following is a presentation of the Ad Astra Sports Network. Stay tuned for exclusive coverage of Bueller Crusader football. Crusader football is streaming online at adastraradio.com and on your smartphone or tablet with the Ad Astra Radio app. Coming up, the Midway Motors
there he is.
to the game as Aaron West and Chris Schenk break down tonight's matchup. You're listening to Bueller Crusader football on HKFM.
Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hutch are proud supporters of high school sports. And of course we are proud to support our community any way we can. Good luck to all of our athletes this season. We hope you have a fun and memorable and most of all, healthy season. Be safe. Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the giant corner of Lorraine and 30th in Hutch, or online 24/7 at allensamuelshutch.com. Come by. Let's be friends.
HKFM.
Well, a pleasant good evening, everyone, on this final Friday in October as we get set for 4A state playoff football here on 95.9 HKFM and on the Crusader Sports Network. It's the opening round. The Bueller Crusaders, the top seed in the West, set to host the Abilene Cowboys here tonight at Crusader Stadium. Welcome inside our Midway Motors drive to the game. Aaron West, I'll be joined tonight by Tyler Adams, Chris Schenk, Cliff Schenk on the broadcast as Bueller looks to beat Abilene for a 10th straight time, the 10th game all-time in the series. Bueller 9-0. These two teams last met in 2016 here at Crusader Stadium in a 45-13 win for Bueller. Well, last week, a dominant performance for the Crusaders from start to finish in a 76-0 victory. It was the second most points in school history and the most the Crusaders had scored in a game since 1960 as they beat Circle 76-0 to capture the league title, the 9th in the head coach Steve Warner era, and their first since 2017. Bueller put up 584 yards of total offense, averaging 13.9 yards a carry, and scoring on all 11 drives. Number of records set or nearly set, including most turnovers in a game with 6, the second most all-time forced by the defense. Jeffrey Neal, of course, most PATs in school history, and you could go on and on and on. T-Money, it was impressive performance by the Crusaders from start to finish.
Yeah, honestly, if you look at the score 76-0, that really explains everything. I mean, nothing went wrong except I believe the most negative thing that happened all game was the one missed PAT by Jeffrey Neal. I mean, he made 10 of the 11. And so just for the defense to be able to shut out a team once this year after the Wellington heartbreak, essentially, allowing that field goal right at the end of the game, then the JV being able to hold them inside the 5. And so just everything went well for the Crusaders, and hopefully that they do the same thing tonight. I mean, especially with Abilene being 0-8.
Yeah, you should break down kind of what the stats look like, 76-0. And you think about this, Bueller ran 8 fewer plays than Circle did. They had the ball 8 fewer minutes than the T-Birds did. They still beat them 76-0. And I guess anytime you're averaging 13.9 yards a play, that's pretty lofty.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those nights, like Tyler said, that everything went as planned and as best you could hope. And it's one of those games that with some teams, you'd worry maybe a little bit about the next week, like maybe they're going to rest on their laurels and be, a little bit cocky. But this group of young men, I really do feel like, and this coaching staff, that's a team that's going to, or a game that's going to help catapult them into the playoffs rather than kind of be the high water mark of the whole year.
Yeah, Sam Elliott to another solid night, 16 carries, 225 yards, and the 4 touchdowns. And he continues to move himself up the leaderboard, all-time rushing now with 4,409 yards. And very well could pass Jordan Oden tonight for 3rd all-time. He is the now all-time leader in most carries over the course of his career. So a solid night for him. And I just thought the maturation of that offensive line, really only their 3rd game together as a group, that 5, and they're playing really well at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, they always talk about you want to be peaking at the right time. And, Coach Warner every year, Aaron, you've been calling Bueller longer than I have. Every year in the summertime, what is Coach Warner worried about? You know, every year, what is he talking about? He's worried about how the O-line is going to be, because that honestly is where it all starts. And you think about why it was such a dominant performance last week. Sam last week barely even had a hand put on him in the backfield ever. I mean, he was 3 or 4 yards up the field before a guy even got a hand on him. And that's not just because of his great running abilities, but also just because our line just absolutely dominated that line of scrimmage.
Well, at the end of the day, the game is won and lost in the trenches, and so certainly worrying about that for good cause. You know, one thing, speaking of worrying, you know, you kind of look at the Abilene Cowboys, you think, wow, if they beat Circle 76-0, what's going to happen when they play Abilene tonight? And, you know, you're fairly confident that there will be a win. You know, the one thing that I would caution against is coming out here and having a bad night in a win, making a bunch of mistakes, or kind of just not leaving this game at a good mental place. And maybe that's a goal that you play for tonight, is you want to take that momentum you've had the last 2.5 weeks and continue on as you go throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I really think about, you know, just talking about things being a good, clean win. I mean, ever since the Augusta game, I really feel like, I don't know about you guys, but that was the game where it just felt like things just meshed across the board, offensively, defensively, confidence-wise. And even though there's been some closer games like the McPherson game, ever since that game, these guys have played progressively cleaner games, less turnovers, less penalties. And like you said, Aaron, this is a game that you want to continue the momentum going forward in the playoffs. You don't want to have a stumble tonight.
I think the first half last week against Circle was the best first half of football Bueller has ever played.
It was pretty spectacular. And again, you go back to scoring on all 11 drives. You look what the defense did, the 6 takeaways, which is the second most in a game in school history. And talk about that momentum back to Augusta. Look at the last 10 quarters of football. This defense has allowed just 9 points, and they've been really good.
Yeah, and you think about, you know, with those points being allowed, you know, one of them was a late field goal. And, you know, last week, and Tyler talked about it, you know, the JV keeping the shutout last week, that's a big thing. And not just the JV, but getting into like the second and third string guys, you know, keeping a shutout against a team that is, you know, trying to score as hard as they can, you know, that's something to really be proud about. And, you know, I know we talked about it a bunch. That's a good Circle team. They didn't look like it last week. It wasn't that they played absolutely terrible. It was just Bueller was hitting on all 8 cylinders.
Well, yeah, they were ranked top 10 for the first time in who knows when, and being 5-2. So they are a really good team compared to other years, and just the way that we dominated. And I feel like since, like you said, since the Augusta game, and especially since the second half of the McPherson game, this team is looking like a state title contender team. They are legit in all courses.
Well, and there's a lot to play for, certainly in the West. You've got to make your way through there. There's going to be some other key teams. And, of course, over in the East, BH may not be the favorite this year. They got beat pretty soundly by St. James Academy, who's also in that 4A East playoffs last week to finish the regular season. So there's a lot up in the air and a lot certainly to play for here coming up in the next 4 weeks.
One thing I've been real impressed with on Bueller, I think they've had some of the best secondary play that I've seen the Bueller teams have. The Campbell brothers are really good in the secondary. And, you know, we've had a lot of turnovers, a lot of picks. They play great defense back there. And sometimes our secondary has been a little bit of an Achilles heel for this team. We get beat, we get burnt wrong. We're not getting burnt wrong this year.
No, and I think not only in the passing game, but you look what they've done against the run, and that's kind of been Bueller's, what they've hung their hat on defensively over the years, is teams not being able to run against them. And you look where they've gone, where the, you know, first 5 weeks of the season, teams were averaging over 220 yards. Last 3 weeks, 91 yards. So that goes to your front seven. But then, too, it's important in your secondary. You look at a team that runs the flex bone like El Dorado did. It's so important that your defensive secondary can play the run as well.
Yeah, and you talked about the Campbells. I mean, they have just been lockdown corners and run support. They've been really physical. And, you know, and you talked about all the turnovers that Bueller forced last week. We haven't just been forcing fumbles. There's been a nice collection of picks this year by multiple guys in the secondary. And, you know, it's definitely a team that if you're playing Bueller as an offensive coordinator, you got to be worried about where you put the ball, because this is a team that can turn you over.
And, you know, Sam Elliott, not only does he dish out a lot of punishment running the football, but he'll come up and just knock your socks off defensively also.
Yeah.
It helps that your top 2 D-backs are top 4 runners in the state of Kansas right now.
Yeah, they're pretty fast. They'll definitely be up there when it comes to track season in the spring as far as contending in that 100 meters. They're pretty good.
Personal comment I'm going to make. I am very, very happy that this game is being played tonight and not yesterday.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God, that wind was awful yesterday.
I think the quarterbacks are probably glad about that, too. It would have been a tough to throw against the wind yesterday.
I think everybody here at Bueller Field is happy the game's today and not yesterday.
All right, more coming up. Our Midway Motors drive to the game. Lots of coverage on the white course across our network, part of our HCC Road to a Championship. We'll talk about other games we'll be watching as well. When we come back, Crusader football on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Listening to the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Visit Midway Motors on 30th Street in Hutchinson or online at midwaymotors.com. Coming up this day in Crusader history as the Midway Motors Drive to the Game continues on HKFM.
At Midway Motors, we believe in being there for our customers for every mile of life.
Midway Motors can service all makes and models of vehicles. With 5 locations and some of the best technicians in the state, we can handle any service you need, including warranty work on Ford, Lincoln, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Midway Motors is also home of the dollar over cost on tires, giving you the best deal on tires you can find. Visit midwaymotors.com or stop by one of our 5 locations today. Midway Motors, for every mile of life.
If you're looking for a late starting college class, Hutchinson Community College may have what you need. It's not too late to get enrolled. We have classes starting throughout the semester. Call 620-665-3535 or email myfuture@hutchcc.edu today.
Fall has arrived and a chill is in the air. Stay nice and warm outside with a coat heater right inside your jacket. Sunflower Electric has coat heaters in stock that heat up to 4 hours on a single charge. Use your favorite coat and install the heater with the included Velcro and even transfer it from jacket to jacket. Now it's only $59.95 and makes a great gift. Hurry, quantities are limited. Call today at 620-662-0531 or stop by Sunflower Electric at 100 West 2nd in Hutchinson.
Hey sports fans, all great teams include a great defensive strategy. That's what insurance is all about. Strategy to defend you, your family, and your possessions. This is Jordan Fee. I'm proud to help our clients plan their strategy of protection through the broad range of services we offer at Fee Insurance Group. Call to find out how we can protect your health, life, property, business, and even your retirement savings. Since 1883, we've been here to stand between you and risk.
Visit feeinsuranceGroup.com, your local trusted choice agent.
HKFM.
Well, welcome back on our Midway Motors Drive to the Game here tonight from Crusader Stadium. Time for our This Day in Crusader History. We'll take you back to October the 29th of 1968 when Bueller defeated Mound Ridge here at Crusader Stadium 40-18. Richard Chisholm had 126 yards receiving in that game. That was the second most in school history at the time. Prior to 2011, in fact, the record was 133, set by Norman Huxman in 1957. I wonder if they wore leather helmets in 1957. Bueller went on to go 9-0 and win the MKL title that year under head coach Fane Hinson. That was back-to-back 9-0 years for that Crusader team in 57 and 58. It's the 0-8 Abilene Cowboys tonight out of the North Central Kansas League, 0-4 on the season in their league play. Team that went 0-6 last year and missed 3 games due to COVID. They are in the midst of a 24-game losing streak. Their last win almost 3 years ago, now more than 3 years ago, came on October the 19th of 2018. You look at their last 5 seasons, they're just 6-35. And their last winning season came in 2016 at 7-3. And they are definitely a team kind of reeling in the wrong direction. Very young team, too. A lot of freshmen and sophomores who will be out there competing tonight for Abilene. And boy, that's tough. When you're kind of in that losing skid, you've got a second-year coach who's desperately trying to reverse that. But then you don't have a lot of senior leadership to go on top of that. It's a tough combination.
Yeah, youth and high school football are 2 words that usually don't add up for a lot of success. You think about one of the hallmarks of why Bueller is having the year we are, it's because we have 22 seniors, and you win with numbers in football. And, yeah, you get into that spot like Abilene is where if you're not winning games, upperclassmen don't go out, and so then you're constantly starting younger kids that are maybe undersized and maybe not ready for the physical nature of varsity ball.
Abilene, a tough year, as we mentioned, 71% run, 29% pass, without their starting quarterback who had mono 2 weeks ago. We'll see if he plays at all tonight. We'll break down more coming up on these Abilene Cowboys. We'll be joined by Coach Coles next on our Midway Motors Drive to the Game on HKFM.
On a Midway Motors Drive to the Game, listen to Crusader Football on your smartphone or tablet with the Ad Astra radio app. Your home for Crusader Football. Join Aaron West and Chris Shank every Friday night on HKFM.
At Dick's Phillips 66, our family has kept motorists on the road for nearly 60 years. Hi, this is Janet Dick, inviting you to stop by our locally owned station at 1215 East 4th in Hutch. Dick's offers top-tier gasoline, grab-and-go food options, and friendly service. Wherever you're headed, every journey begins with a stop at Dick's Phillips 66, 4th and Stevens in Hutch.
Are you building a house?
A swimming pool?
Are your lights flickering?
Call Schmidt Electric.
That's Schmidt Electric. 620-960-6755. Schmidt Electric will take care of all your electrical needs.
Got Spock?
Our pets are living longer thanks to advances in veterinary care, diagnostics, and early intervention. Hi, this is Dr. Randy Smith from Abilene Animal Hospital. In the past, veterinarians could do little more than make a pet's golden years comfortable by treating the symptoms of old age problems. We now have greater knowledge, improved diagnostics, and better treatments, all of which mean we can more effectively prevent or manage many senior health care issues. Serving you with quality senior health care for over 30 years, Abilene Animal Hospital, 2909 Abilene in Hutchinson.
And we're back on the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Time to get armored up as we break down the Abilene Cowboys with defensive coordinator, Coach Jason Coles. Coach, just to kind of looking at some of the numbers of your defense, just how dominant you guys have been here down the home stretch. Last 10 quarters, you've only allowed 9 points. Really seems like since about halftime of that MAC game, your defense has kind of taken it to that next level. Really been fantastic.
Yeah, we feel like, and that was kind of a turning point for us, was in the MAC game, and obviously that was a big game. There was a lot of emotion. They're such a high-level team. To kind of have it pulled together, and we thought we matched up well with them. Gave up a little bit early, and then kind of put the clamps on. And like you say, since then we've played pretty well. We played at a high level of energy, and a high level of intensity every game. And when the kids come out that way, it makes calling defense pretty easy.
You've kind of gotten back to some old school habits of Bueller football, and it's been really tough to run against these last 3 games, holding your opponents under 200 yards. And seems like it starts there. If you can shut down that run game, then it really opens up opportunities for your defense.
It really does. When we get a team that, if you can take away an aspect of a team, or at least make it to where they don't have any confidence in doing it, to where they can't drive the ball down the field, it allows you to do some things and to maybe take off the chains a little bit, and play with a little bit more reckless abandon, which our kids are kind of built for that. We're kind of a speed-based defense, and they like to fly around and do things that allow them to show their athleticism. And our secondary has done a great job coming up and helping the front seven in the run game. So it's not like they're just sitting back and waiting for them to throw the ball. They're coming up and making plays with the linebackers and the D-line. But then when they get a chance to play in the secondary and you'll see the ball in the air, they take that as a personal challenge too. So it's been really pretty fun to see them develop, especially over the last few weeks.
You get an Abilene team tonight that's awfully young, especially at the quarterback position where they've had some injury issues. Not really sure on their identity, just looking at film. They've tried to run the ball, but they've also passed quite a bit. So interesting what you'll see out of them tonight.
Yeah, as we prep through the week, the kids will ask, okay, Coach, they did this one game, they did this the next game. What do you expect to see? And normally, we as coaches can say, well, this is what we expect. This is the teams we have on film. This one ran a 3-4. This one ran a 4-3. So here's what we expect to see from them. So we're not 100% sure. We have a pretty good idea of what we're going to see from them, but we're not 100% sure, which makes us fall back on our fundamentals. And that's, really the reason we run the fundamentally sound defense we run is so that if teams do things we aren't expecting, we can shift pretty quickly and change on the fly and make things happen the way they need to.
Good luck tonight. Looking forward to hopefully a fun few weeks.
Hopefully. Thank you.
All right, Coach. That's Coach Jason Coles. We're armored up, ready to go. We'll be back with more right after this.
The Midway Motors Drive to the Game continues after this. Still to come, we'll take you around the league with a look at other action in the AVCTL. And Chris Shank brings you tonight's keys to the game. The Midway Motors Drive to the Game on HKFM.
Neufeld's Flooring, your experts in design and installation of carpet, tile, wood, and vinyl floor covering. Proudly sponsoring Bueller High School activities, Neufeld's Flooring in downtown Bueller.
Hi, this is Cliff Ray with Ray & Sons Roofing Company, and today I brought our 4-year-old grandson, Brogan. Brogan, did you know Ray & Sons Roofing is 80 years old this year? Do you know what that means?
No, Papa.
It means we have a lot of experience. Brogan, did you know we have been the best of the best every year? You know what that means?
What, Papa?
People trust us, and that's a very good thing. For a free inspection or estimate, go to rayandsons.com.
Roof the right way, the right way.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Bueller Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
And welcome back on our Midway Motors Drive to the Game as we get set for 4A playoff football tonight on what should be just a fantastic Friday night for football. Elsewhere around the league tonight, Winfield is at Independence, and we'll try and keep you updated on that. Can't, because the winner of this game will meet the winner of that game next Friday night. Ulysses at Mulvane, El Dorado's at Augusta, Wellington at Andover Central, Rose Hill at Circle, Clearwater at Cheney, Pratt at Collegiate. Other league teams on our network tonight, a full night of high school football coverage, including Garden Plain at Haven, Trinity Catholic at Kingman, Douglas at Hillsboro, Clearwater at Cheney, and Hugoton is at Andale. And that game kicked off at 6 o'clock already. Andale dominating Hugoton 32-0 in the first half in Class 3A. You can find coverage online at adastraradio.com or download our Ad Astra Radio app powered by Nextech Wireless, because you're mobile and need to stay connected. Well, Cliff, you mentioned the wind last night and how fortunate we are that it is not like that tonight.
Yes, it's nice and calm out so far. The flag is actually hanging limp at the north end of the stadium. The temperature was 57 degrees at 6 o'clock, and it'll be dropping pretty quickly because it's very, very dry air and clear skies, and so the temperature will fall, and it definitely feels like fall, a crisp feeling to it, but great football weather.
Absolutely, just the way we like it. Our kickoff conditions brought to you by Phoenix Restoration, the company most trusted to deliver quality recovery services when disaster strikes. Call 662-0100, the premier disaster restoration company. Well, fellas, as we talk about other games happening, and of course we'll keep you updated tonight in our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard, what are some games in the league or around the state in 4A that intrigue us?
Well, honestly, over in the East, just kind of seeing how, Baser Linwood is. They're the number one team in Class 4A. They've rolled up that perfect record. And so it'll be interesting to see how Baser is now that they're in the playoffs. And, that's a game that really, to me, stands out. That will be an interesting one. And obviously one that hopefully the Crusaders will care about the outcome of.
Yeah, I'm certainly interested. I think there's a lot of questions this year as far as how good Bishop Miege is. They got beat pretty soundly by St. James last week, and of course St. James Academy in that 4A East as well. You look over in the West, Winfield at Independence tonight, although I would favor Winfield in that game. Going to be interesting to see Mulvane and what they do, and then of course McPherson and the tragic situation there, that game not being played. Arc City lost a player in a rollover accident this week, and boy, our thoughts, our hearts go out to that team and their families and that community. Is Arc City electing not to play football tonight, so McPherson, because of that, will move on to the next round. And it always kind of reminds you that this is just a game, and there's the bigger issue of life, but puts a lot of pressure on these coaches too, because not only they try to help you win football, but trying to help you navigate life and be set up for that, really to help these young men succeed.
Well, Ark City was kind of the Cinderella team last year. They upset McPherson, and it was last year that they were the Cinderella team, and it was quite a shock.
Yeah, they went all the way to the state title game, beat Mac in that semifinal to play Miege in the title game, and again, just heavy hearts thinking about the Lathers family and that whole team and community tonight. Really suffering. So we'll keep you updated on the other scores. We're set for our game just about 10 minutes away. We'll get thoughts from Coach Warner when we come back here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
You're listening to the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Visit Midway Motors on 30th Street in Hutchinson or online at midwaymotors.com. Next, we hear the pregame thoughts of head coach Steve Warner. Your home for Crusader football, HKFM.
At Adams Brown, our clients are the center of everything we do. Hi, this is Brett Henry. We're proud to have been named to the Inside Public Accountants Top 200 Firms for our 5th consecutive year. Adams Brown, Strategic Allies and CPAs, above and beyond.
Hi, this is Robin Swanson. I am a candidate for the USD 313 Bueller School Board. For the past 11 years, I have had a passion for helping in the schools and district. I have served on many PTOs, holding officer positions and leading multiple committees. Throughout those years, I have had 4 children in the district, and my youngest son is currently a freshman at BHS. I am running because I want to continue to serve our community and help make our district as successful as possible. On November 2nd, vote for Robin Swanson. Thank you.
Paid for by Robin Swanson.
Well, welcome back on our Midway Motors Drive to the Game. Time for pregame thoughts from head coach Steve Warner. Coach, I just had a stat pop into my head as we get ready to open the playoffs with the Abilene Cowboys, something we didn't talk about on our coaches show Monday night, but a stat, just a credit to your kids that I saw this week. Since 2004, Bueller has more wins in 4A than any other school. So
that's pretty amazing, and we have had a lot of great kids and a lot of great teams, and it's been a lot of fun. And we talked about things in the coaches show, and that is why, and that's because our kids work hard and they refuse to lose and they don't want to quit, and they take pride in the things that they do. And I'm just proud to be able to say that I'm their coach, and the memories that of all the teams that we've had here. And obviously, when that stat came out, a lot of ex-players responded to it, back to me, and it just brings up a lot of memories. Tanner Fisher and some of the great tailbacks we had, Jordan Ode, and Dylan England, all the great ones we've had, and Riley Allen. Just as they talk about Sam and whether Sam's going to beat their record and stuff, there's a lot of pride, and there's a lot of kids watching from afar, and I'm proud to be a Crusader.
Momentum is kind of a slippery thing to capture, but it really feels like you guys are playing your best football now at the right time.
And this is a perfect time to be playing the best. And it took, I think, a loss at Andover Central to kind of get the kids' attention. And ever since then, it's been, more focus and more what I want to call all in. And they didn't enjoy that loss, and they knew that we had the opportunity to win. And that means doing everything perfect in practice all the time, and being coachable. That when we get on them, they just respond with yes, sir, or okay. And we're ready to go, and they've done that, and I think we're reaping those benefits from it.
How much of getting to that point where you're maximizing your potential is how you come through adversity, whether it is a tough loss or whether it is some of the changes you've had to make on the offensive line? How much is just how the kids respond to adversity?
Well, it's huge, and a lot of times teams will fold with some of the adversity we've had on the offensive line. Two starters are gone, and our offensive line just continues to get stronger. So I think everybody else has played harder, everybody else has played smarter, and they bonded together as a team very well. And so that's why I feel like the sky's the limit for this team. The way our defense is playing, the way they're flying the ball, the way our D-backs play, just is amazing to me, because that's a very, very tough position. And a D-back, you can play well 99% of the time and make one mistake and cost us a touchdown. And those kids are playing at a high level, and I think that's going to keep us in a lot of games, and because we have so much speed also. But just with your D-backs covering the way we are, that's going to be very nice down the road.
I know you'll preach it to your kids a lot, but starting this week with Abilene, boy, every game's important. You can't overlook anybody.
You can't take it for granted. Yes, we should win the football game, but we've got to go out and do the things that we do And that's number one, take care of the football. We want to continue to reduce penalties and be physical and play fast and play at a high level.
Boy, solid season for both your freshman and your JV teams.
It really was, and we had to, one thing that hurt the JV as they lost a couple of games was we had to take Gavin off of that because he's such a great running back, but he's a two-tech for us now, and he's proved to be the starter. So we took him away from the JV, and that really hurt them because he is a very good running back too.
Looking forward to it, Coach. Best of luck on the field tonight. We'll talk to you after the game.
Thank you.
All right, that's pregame thoughts from head coach Steve Warner, and we're back with more right after this.
Join head coach Steve Warner for the Crusader Coaches Show, Monday nights at 6:30. You've been listening to the Midway Motors Drive to the Game. The first half kickoff is coming up next, and Chris Shank brings you tonight's keys to the game on HKFM.
Mid-Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Bueller. Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at mkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Bueller and in Moundridge. Member NCUA.
From their beginnings in 1989, Wifco Steel Products has grown to be the premier supplier of storage tank hardware in the U.S. and Canada, and they're still growing. Apply today at wifcosp.com. Wifco Steel Products, the experts in steel fabrication.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Bueller Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
And welcome back. Our Midway Motors Drive to the game. Our coverage here from Bueller tonight, part of our HCC Road to a Championship. Lots of high school football across the network. Andale now beating Hugoton 40-0 late in the second quarter.
And Andale has scored yet again, Aaron. I have a feeling we're going to be able to say that it's now 48-0.
Wow.
And still 2 and change left to go in the second quarter.
I'll keep you updated on those scores in our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard as Bueller gets set here tonight to host the Abilene Cowboys. Bueller in their road black uniforms, or home blacks, I'm sorry, with the maroon trim, the black helmets, all whites, orange trim, and orange helmets for the Abilene Cowboys. And we'll go down on the field for tonight's opening comments.
All right, fellas, you my speaking captain right here? All right, perfect. Speaking captain right here, right? All right, got a coin here, gentlemen. That's going to represent heads. Right? Heads, tails. Okay. Abilene is our visitors, correct? Oh, I get this thing in my face. All right, Abilene's visitors, correct? You're going to make the call. What are you calling? Heads. What did he say? Heads. All right, we're going to let this thing flip, hit the ground, see what we get, all right? You know what you want?
We want to receive.
You want to receive. You're going to pick.
So Abilene won the toss, and they elected to receive. Bueller will be kicking off and defending the north end zone, and appropriately they used an Eisenhower dollar for the coin toss. And of course Abilene, the boyhood home of our president, Dwight Eisenhower.
All right, Crusaders on defense first tonight. Christopher, let's take a look at some keys to the game.
Well, the three main keys that stand out to me, number 3, dealing with the pressure and expectations. Abilene has nothing to lose tonight. We are the ones that have the whole world to lose, so just playing free and not really focusing on the fact that if you lose, you're done. Number 2, playing against yourself. Last week was nearly a perfect game, so tonight the Crusaders are going to be trying to match that against the Abilene Cowboys. And finally, most importantly, bottom line in the playoffs, there's no style points whatsoever. It's all about surviving and advancing. A 1-point win sends you to the next round in regional play.
Yeah, one and done tonight.
All right, Bueller's defense holding opponents to 14.5 points a game. We mentioned last 3 weeks, only 91 rushing yards. They've really improved there. And the 22 takeaways this year, they are plus 15 against their opponents. Up front, the tackles Gavin Patton, who has really settled into that 2-tech position, along with the nose tackle Jackson Childs. Defensive ends, Bo Van Bruggen with a sack last week, the all-time career sack leader in school history, and Dalen Coffey, Sam Elliott, Tanner Tustin, the Mike linebacker, will be without Colin Rowland, an outside linebacker tonight. Tweaked a knee last week, and hopefully we'll know more this coming week whether he's able to go If Bueller moves on to the playoffs, so look for a lot of Matt Eddy at linebacker tonight. In the secondary, the safeties, Brock McCurdy and Cody Weiscarver. Deontay Campbell and Cameron Campbell are the corners. Jeffrey Neal set the all-time record for PATs in a game with 10 last week, and that may be a record that it had stood for a long time and could stand for another 100 years.
Yeah, I ran into his dad after the game and also his mom, and I told them both, I said, your son might have that record till he's an old man.
Jeffrey kicks from the 40. He squibs it toward the south end zone. It'll be taken to the 29-yard line, and a short return of only a yard for the Cowboys. That's where they start on offense. Their sophomore quarterback missed the last 2 games with mono, and as a result, freshman Aaron Hartman has been called up. 5'6", 130, just 9 of 24 with a touchdown and 4 INTs in 2 weeks. Talked about Bueller being plus 15 in takeaways. This Abilene team is minus 19. They have turned the ball over 26 times this year. 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line as we get the game underway. They'll go with the spread I formation and a receiver in motion. Hand off to the tailback, and nothing there. Stood up at the 29-yard line. Zach Miller, another young guy, just a sophomore, 5'10", 170, averaging 4 yards a carry. Talked about the youth on this team, and boy, that is so hard to overcome against a team with so much experience.
Yeah, you look across their skill positions. I mean, they have some seniors in the receiving core, but in the backfield and quarterbacks, it is all freshmen and sophomores.
Loss of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Abilene going left to right out of that spread I formation. Quarterback Hartman is under center. They go out of the jet formation and a run to the left side, and nothing there. Bueller's defense again stymies the run at the 30, and I know I've referred to that a couple of times, but I really think since Bueller's defense has really shut down, in particular the interior run, man, that has made all the difference in the world.
Guys, it looks like men against boys out here right now.
3rd down and 11 from the far hash mark of the 30-yard line. Hartman will be under center. They go with 4 wide receivers, 1 in motion. There's
ball
the
loose.
Toss and the sweep. It's going to be loose, and Bueller's going to fall on it back at the 25-yard line.
And coming up with the recovery is the senior Brock McCurdy. So the Crusaders now plus 16 on takeaways. The 23rd takeaway this season for the Crusaders.
And a recovery for Brock McCurdy. It'll be Brock's first fumble recovery of the season. Bueller's going to take over on offense. 10:39 to play here in the first in a short field, no score from the Abilene 23-yard line. And Brad Neal will take the snap out of the eye, pitches it to his senior tailback to the near side of the 20, 15-10. Spin move around a tackle inside the 5, still on his feet. Touchdown, Crusaders!
Well, a nice 23-yard carry there by Sam Elliott on his first run of the night, and the Crusaders get the scoring going right away.
And that's a great start, getting that takeaway, and then the first play right off the bat, a touchdown, and Sam refusing to go on the ground, great blocks, and it's looking a lot like how last week started.
Sam Elliott came in needing 113 yards to pass Jordan Oden for 3rd all-time. With just under 4,500 career yards. That is his 18th rushing touchdown this year, and a flag comes out at the snap of the extra point here.
Well, we'll hope it's an offsides.
Abilene was way offsides.
Okay, good. So that'll give Jeffrey another crack at the PAT. And in the JV game on Monday night, Jeffrey right at the end of the game, or excuse me, at the end of the half, was in a prevent situation and knocked heads with one of the other Crusaders, was a bit dinged up, so it's good to see him back out on the field as he was sidelined for a bit on Monday night over at Towanda.
Flag on Abilene. They'll reset. On average this season, we've seen about 11 flags thrown per game. It has been at times a lot of penalties. They'll reset from inside the 10. The kick is up and good. Jeffrey Neal boots it through. Bueller with an early 7-0 lead over Abilene. 10:29 to go in the first here on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
Strikes your home or business, call your hometown team. Call Phoenix Restoration. Hi, this is Robin Swanson. My husband Ryan and I and our team at Phoenix Restoration are proud to be Reno County's only locally owned fire and water restoration company. When the unthinkable hits your home or business, we are here to help. We'll put our 10+ years of experience to work to help you recover. Check us out at phoenixrestorationandroofing.com. Phoenix Restoration will help you rise again after your disaster.
Did you know that it's estimated that the salt deposits under Kansas could supply the entire world's salt needs for the next 250,000 years? Cargill Salt of Hutch is proud to support the schools of Reno County. Collaborate, create, succeed. Cargill Salt of Hutchinson.
HKFM.
An early 6-0, 7-0 lead for the Bueller Crusaders, who forced their 23rd takeaway of the season. And in a one-play, 23-yard Sam Elliott run for the touchdown. Here's a return from near the 33. Abilene maybe gets a yard. If you're wondering, by the way, most defensive turnovers forced in a season, another record that stood for a long time in 1959, 37.
Wow. Okay, so the Crusaders have a golden opportunity this year if they can have a deep playoff run to break that. And another kickoff, special teams tackle made by Carson Bueller and Mr. Matthew Eddy. So good to see those two teaming up on the kickoffs.
That run by Sam Elliott, his spin move was truly spectacular.
Right through traffic he went, out of that spread-eye formation. And somebody moved up front, flags come out. Bo Van Bruggen was in the backfield before the snap of the football. We'll see if he was drawn off sides or not.
Yeah, Ivan Rutz, one of the senior offensive linemen for Abilene, took off, and so the Crusaders saw the movement and jumped into the neutral zone. So another penalty called on Abilene. That's already their second or third of the evening.
Second of the night, trailing 7-0. It'll be 1st and 15 from the 29-yard line.
They're going the wrong direction.
The freshman Aaron Hartman under center with 4 wide receivers wants to throw, and it's thrown in traffic and incomplete. Brock McCurdy gets tangled up with the intended receiver on the near side. That is Cooper Wildley. Wadley, the leading receiver coming into the night on this Abilene team, 22 catches, 414 yards, and Hartman that time threw it in all kinds of traffic.
Abilene was pretty lucky because the ball popped up in the air, and a lot of times when that happened, it's an easy pick, but nobody got it.
And man, did Deontay put a lick on him.
Yeah, Deontay had a chance to make a play on the ball, and Eddie had a chance to pick it as well.
Second down and 15, and they'll give it to the receiver in the sweep, left to right, bounces off a tackler, trying to get to the 29, back to the line of scrimmage, and cannot get there. Bueller's defense smothering here in this first quarter so far. A carry by Brax Fisher, another young guy, just a sophomore, out of the jet sweep.
Well, 6 Black Knights in on that gang tackle, so now Abilene facing yet another 3rd and long scenario, and last time they were in this spot, they turned it over.
Well, Abilene is yet to have a positive play. Everything has gone the wrong direction.
A jet sweep was the play that produced the turnover on that first series, as the quarterback and receiver miscommunicated. The ball ended up on the turf and recovered by Brock McCurdy. 3rd down and 16 from the right hash mark. Near side receiver in motion. They land it off to their tailback, who goes nowhere, losing another 2 yards back to the 27. It'll be 4th down from there for Abilene, who is yet. Well, here's an interesting, I guess they did, no, they have not. According to my notes, they have yet to run a positive play in 2 series.
Yep, negative everything.
Yeah, Gavin Patton in on the stop there for Bueller. And Aaron, you talked about it, the fact that they're having to play younger kids, so much earlier. Bueller has the luxury of, like, our freshman quarterback, Brendan Skripsik, who's doing a great job on the freshman team. He's not even playing much JV.
Caleb Becker with the punt. Bueller has McCurdy and Eddy back to return. They'll get out of the way of it. An Abilene player is going to down it at the 38-yard line. And so the Crusaders will take over there. Up 7-0. That offense, Bradley Neal, the senior quarterback. Interesting stat, his first 2 years as starter, he threw 19 interceptions, just 3 this year, completing 57% of his passes for 992 yards and 13 touchdowns. Talked about what Sam Elliott has done. Tanner Tustin at fullback has had a good couple of weeks. See McCurdy, Eddy, Van Bruggen and company in that receiver position. 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. 8:45 to play in the first. And they'll take the snap and the handoff. Sam Elliott bouncing to the outside at the 40. 45 to be drugged down near the 46-yard line by the nickelback Brax Fisher. Up front for the Crusaders, the tackles Jackson Childs and Bodie Redenbaugh. Brian Regier and Wes Miller, the guards, and Blake Ellis at center.
Yeah, Wes Miller was the pulling guard that time. Did a great job throwing the block downfield, and Sam with a nice 9-yard pickup there on first down.
And that's Abilene's first tackle.
A tremendous fake by Sam.
We'll be tracking Sam's numbers tonight. We talked about the fact that he needs 113 to pass the great Jordan Oden. Here's Brad to pass on first down here, or second down, and it's going to be batted down at the line of scrimmage by defensive tackle Isaac Barbieri, one of the few seniors on this team. Defensive tackle in the near side, 6'3", 180, bats the ball down at the line of scrimmage.
And that's at first. Abilene held Bueller without a positive play.
And Barbieri, one of those guys that has had a couple older brothers that the Crusaders have faced off over the years in the playoffs.
3rd down and 1. From the near side hash mark, Bueller going right to left. They go with a wing back to the far side. They'll hand it off to Elliott. He's got the first down. Cuts far side, then back up the middle across the 50 into Abilene territory down to the 45-yard line. And so that'll move the sticks. And 8 more yards on that carry for Sam Elliott.
Well, and just to emphasize how strong Sam Elliott is, he drugged the defensive end, Thomas McClendon, for about 4 yards. McClendon is 6'3", 210 pounds.
Bueller did not have to convert a 3rd down last week in the first half against Circle. They convert there. 1st and 10 at the 45 into Cowboy territory. They'll go out of the gun with triple receivers to the right side. Brad looking to unload over the middle, looking for Matt Eddy, and he overthrows him near the 10-yard line, incomplete. 2 Cowboys in coverage, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, as a quarterback, if you're going to miss a throw, you always want to throw it long, because that way nobody can make a play at it, because if it's underthrown, there was 2 Abilene D-backs right there in hot pursuit.
Well, yeah, and Eddy also, he burnt those 2 defensive backs. And so if the throw was on target, it would have been a touchdown, and we would have been able to say any time is any time.
Eddy, 16 catches, 335 yards coming into tonight, 4 touchdowns. It's really come on in the second half of the season. 2nd down and 10. Clock stopped at 7:31 to play. They'll go in the sweep. Near side, it's going to be McCurdy on the carry from right to left, and falls forward to the 40-yard line. That'll set up a 3rd down and 5. Here at this near hash mark.
Yeah, Tanner Tushton was the back that was blocking here on the near side. McCurdy unfortunately cut the wrong side of the block, so it allowed the Abilene defensive back to fight off the block and bring McCurdy down after a short pickup.
McCurdy's going to check out here on 3rd down, replaced by Carson Moeller. Looking at a 3rd and 6 this time in Abilene territory. 7-0 Crusaders. 1 play on their opening drive, 23 yards. Peter will go with a wing back to the far side here on 3rd down. Near side run. Elliott's got the first down at the 30. Still on his feet. Tight roping at the 25. Still on his feet inside the 20. And almost all 11 guys for Abilene it takes to knock him out of bounds. Let's call it the 17-yard line where he goes out.
So just another run-of-the-mill 25-yard carry that time by Sam Elliott, and great job. I mean, you guys noticed how long it took him to blow the whistle. It took that many Abilene defenders to get there before they could bring Sam down.
Sam almost made a ballet move and picked up an extra 10 yards right in front of me.
1st and 10 at the 16 is where they mark it down, 25 yards, 6:24 to go in the first. Out of the I formation, Brad takes the snap, hands off Sam Elliott, off tackle far side, now bounces to the outside, inside the 10. And Sam on fire early down to the 7-yard line. You mentioned Barbieri early. He had a sister, I think it was Belle. I believe her name was Belle. She's a pretty good basketball player, so that family, a ton of talent. But this is a very young Abilene team trying to grow up in a hurry and in the midst of a 24-game losing streak.
And the Crusaders just giving him a heavy dose of Sam Elliott here early on.
There's 10 more yards for Sam.
Yeah, he's right now at the 74-yard mark tonight.
Clock will run inside 5.5 left in the first here. Back to the sweep, right to left. They hand it off. Into the end zone. Cameron Campbell with a touchdown for the Crusaders.
Just a great job on the jet sweep. The Crusaders have been running so well inside that Abilene's really had to sell out to try to clog up the middle. And that time, if you get a Campbell kid to the space, he's probably going to score. And Cameron walks it in from just outside the 10-yard line for the second touchdown of the night for Bueller.
Something they haven't done a lot this season is have success with that jet sweep, yet they've had several yardage plays already this game.
Second rushing touchdown of the year for Cameron Campbell. Jeff Neal with pressure in his face gets it up and through. Bueller leading now 14-0, 5:34 to play in the opening period here from Crusader Stadium. Part of the HCC Road to a Championship on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Mid-Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Bueller. Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at mkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Bueller and in Moundridge. Member NCUA.
Are you tired of your dusty or muddy driveway? APAC Kansas Shears Division is here to help. This is Derek Fees. Call us and ask us about our asphalt millings. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, arrange for pickup or delivery at your convenience. Call APAC today at 620-662-2112.
HKFM.
And we're live tonight from the Allen Samuels broadcast booth. Allen Samuels of Hutch, they're dedicated to helping you find the make and model that best suits your needs. Online at AllenSamuelsHutch.com. 7th place, 62 yards and a second Bueller touchdown. Now Jeff end over end will drive it over the head of the return man into the end zone. And a touchback for Jeffrey Neal. As Abilene will start from the 20. That is Jeffrey's third touchback of the season.
Yeah, I think he could do that more often. You know, they always been doing all these quip kicks, but I think Jeffrey could kick it in the end zone probably about half the time.
Yeah, and he really does like a 5-step drop kick instead of a full about 7-10 yard run.
He's just a sophomore, so he's going to get bigger and stronger, and may see him do that quite a bit next year. 1st and 10 from the 20 for Abilene out of that spread eye. Bueller loads the box here on first down as they put a receiver in motion. They hand it off to their tailback. And not much there on the left side for young Zach Miller. Mentioned just a sophomore, 5'10", 170. Came in on the year with 101 carries for 239 yards.
And that's a big deal there, guys.
That's their first positive play.
They picked up 2 yards.
But Abilene, look for them to probably try to keep it on the ground here, as you know, they want to try to shorten this game as much as they can, try to avoid the same fate as Circle last week.
Abilene 20-24 all time of the playoffs. They do have 2 state titles in their history. Their last playoff win came in 2015. Here's play action out of the sweep.
Oh, that's going to
wobbly
get
throw to the near side, and it's picked off. It was tipped in the air by Deontay Campbell, taken by Matthew Eddy from the 40, 30, 25-20, and driven out of bounds. Deontay Campbell on that high wobbly pass tried to pick it off over the head of the receiver. He was able to bobble it up in the air, and Matthew Eddy came under and scooped it up.
Well, you always say it, Tyler.
Anytime is Eddie time. But, Chris, that's one of your biggest pet peeves is having one of the D-backs toss it up in the air, and that could have gone either way. But Eddie's always being there, and so him being able to get that interception.
So Bueller will have great field position yet again with the ball right at the doorstep of the red zone.
Yeah, they're starting in the red zone. It's a good place to start.
At the Abilene 20, 4:38 to play in the first. And they'll go with a 2 tight end set here on first down. Here is Elliott, right side, and carries across the 15 to the 14-yard line. 6 more yards for Sam on first down. Matthew Eddy with his second INT of the season, the team's 13th. Their second forced turnover tonight as Cameron Campbell will check back in at receiver here. Dalen Coffey also, another senior on the field now for the Crusaders. Clock will run inside 4 minutes. Got a whistle blown by one of the officials.
And you said the all-time record of turnovers forced was 37, Aaron, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the Crusaders are just a mere 13 turnovers away from having the all-time record for turnovers. And that, I tell you what, you want to track a stat in football that's going to equal 1 football games, that's a huge one.
6 defensive touchdowns this year for this team. They've been a big playmaking defense.
We got an official's timeout.
All right, timeout of the field. 4:06 to go here in the first quarter. Bueller leading 14-0. Step aside, back after this on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
The name Johnson Sheet Metal doesn't sound like a heating and air conditioning company, but our family at Johnson Sheet Metal became a Lennox dealer 99 years ago and are still servicing and installing heating and air conditioning systems in Hutchinson and Reno County. Through 4 generations, our specialty has been the Lennox brand, but we can service other brands just as well. We do metals too, but if you have a heating or air conditioning need, call Johnson Sheet Metal today at 620-662-0224.
If you're looking for a late starting college class, Hutchinson Community College may have what you need. It's not too late to get enrolled. We have classes starting throughout the semester. Call 620-665-3535 or email myfuture@hutchcc.edu today.
HKFM.
Back here at Crusader Stadium, it'll be Bueller ball. 2nd and 5 out of the timeout. Near their own 14, or near the Abilene 14-yard line.
Sam already up to 80 yards on 6 carries this evening rushing.
Brad's going to be out of the shotgun here. Fakes, throws over the middle, and easy too. That is the tight end, BVB, Bo Van Bruggen, with a 14-yard strike. Touchdown, Crusaders for Bradley Neal, his 14th thrown this year. First of the season. That is the first TD of our senior tight end's career.
Well, that's a neat one for Bo, too. It was just a little seam route right up the field. Nobody from the Abilene secondary picked him up. The linebackers were selling out to try to stop Sam Elliott, and that might be Bradley Neal's easiest throw he's ever had for a touchdown pass in his career.
Brad, 1 of 3 now in the game as Jeffrey boots it through, and just like that, Bueller with an early 3-score lead with the shades of last week looming over Crusader Stadium tonight. 21-0, 4:02 to go in the first on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
At Allen Samuels of Hudson, 2022 model years are available for order, with Dodge Ram 1500 Crew Cab starting at only $28,800. And the best-in-class 3500 Crew starts at only $35,400. Let Allen Samuels Hutch show you a better way to order your next vehicle, the way you want it. That's the Allen Samuels way. Order your new vehicle today for year-end delivery, located on the giant corner of 30th and Lorraine, or visit us online 24/7 at allensamuelshutch.com. And as Mr. Samuels always says,
come by, let's be friends.
Hi, this is Brett Henry, and for the past 75 years at Adams Brown Barron & Ball, we've served Kansas and America. To celebrate our 75th anniversary, we have rebranded to Adams Brown, Strategic Allies, and CPAs. For more information on our exciting changes, check out adamsbrowncpa.com and see why we are above and beyond.
HKFM.
Well, back here with a kickoff, and Jeffrey Neal's going to send another one sailing into the south end zone. His second touchback of the night. Abilene will start from their 20. Bueller 2 plays, 20 yards, and a 14-yard touchdown pass from Brad Neal to Bo Van Bruggen to make it 21-0. And a quick update in our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard. Start of the second, Winfield leading Independence 14-0.
Okay.
Yeah, that last kickoff bounced into the end zone. This one flew into the end zone.
I was about to say, too, you know the only people that are unhappy about Bradley getting those touchbacks, or Jeffrey getting those touchbacks? What? Guys on the kick team that want to hit somebody.
Here's a carry up the middle on 1st and 10 from the 24 Abilene. That is Zach Miller. And nowhere to go on first down, loses a yard back to the 19-yard line. We're talking about those most defensive turnovers forced by a Bueller team, the record being 37. More recently, the 09 and 2010 teams each forced 32. The state champion team in 2013 forced 31.
Got a timeout.
And another timeout of the field. This just in, that 2013 team was pretty good.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And, no, I mean, and not to put any undue pressure on these young men, but this team really, every team wakes up and thinks all summer long, hey, we have the ability to win a state title. I tell you, this team really, if they can continue to, one of the things that typically happens in a state title run year, you stay healthy. And you think about this tonight. Colin Rowland's missing tonight's game due to an injury. But other than that, fellas, we really haven't had hardly anybody even miss.
Don't jinx us, Chris. Knock on wood. I'm superstitious.
We don't have any wood up here. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's all metal.
But we have been able to really stay injury-free, and that really is sometimes the difference between a okay year and a state title year.
Chris, I had a chance to talk to your old head coach, Chuck Porter, before the kickoff, and we were visiting about this team, and he agrees. He thinks this team has a chance to be great.
All right, it'll be 2nd down and 11 from the 19.
Coach Porter's looking good, too.
He'll put Hartman out of the gun with the receiver in motion. Bueller brings pressure, and a late exchange between the quarterback and tailback, and Bueller's in the backfield. Matt Eddy there to knock him on his seat near the 11-yard. They'll mark forward progress at the 14.
And there was no forward progress.
Yeah. Well, Aaron,
that was backward progress.
Well, on the zone read, it's supposed to be one of those situations where, you don't allow the defender to really get aggressive. Well, Matthew Eddy's so quick, he waited for them to hand it off and then just tee off on him. Atherton on the stop as well. But I tell you what, the Black Knights have spent this entire evening in the Abilene backfield.
Yeah, they're back to the 14-yard line.
And we're late to stay on track for last week's score. They needed to be 28-0 with 2:55 left.
So Levi Atherton in for Bo Van Bruggen at this near side defensive end, and there's a sack back behind the 5-yard line as Abilene's quarterback gets eaten up.
Gavin Patton with the big sack for the Crusaders from that 2-tech spot.
And right now they're just toying with them. One positive play all game. They're going to hold them possibly over negative 100 yards.
And now they've got a punt out of the end zone. If I was Bueller, I'd go for the block.
Back to the 6-yard line. That is the 4th sack of the year for Gavin Patton.
When they have the returners at the 32.
Yeah, so Bueller's going to have great field position irregardless of what Abilene does.
So Abilene's Becker will punt out of his own end zone. It's going to be caught, returnable from the 34. Bueller, this is Matthew Eddy inside the 10-yard line and down close to the 6 where he's driven out of bounds.
A good field position starts the drive, 1st and goal.
Now Bueller comes in, 31-22 all-time in the playoffs, 29-14 in the Warner era, but just a vanilla 4-4 the last 4 years. And I know that's part of the motivation by this coaching staff and this team is to kind of turn that number around.
Aaron, I like vanilla.
I do too, but
well, don't diss vanilla.
We could call it chocolate. I don't care. Strawberry.
There you go.
1st and goal from the 7. Bueller will take the snap, 1:53 to go in the quarter, and another touchdown, their 4th of the night. And Sam Elliott is back in the end zone with a carry of 7.
So Sam Elliott now with 7 carries tonight and over 80 some odd yards. We'll get the tally, but he is knocking on the door of passing Mr. Oden's record. That is now 81 yards on the ground for Sam.
And it's only the 1st quarter, which is crazy.
Of course, he knows he's not going to be playing in the second half. Or maybe one series.
All right, Bueller on for the PAT here from the 10 out of the snap of Carson Moeller. Hold down by Logan Briner. The kick is up and good.
Logan Briner has done a great job. Some of these snaps have not been the best, but he digs them out and gets it down, and the ball goes to the upright.
And I say this a lot, but he has done a great job all year. He takes his job very seriously, and he'd really be interested in becoming a holder in a Division I school. I mean, he is very talented and practices all the time with it.
All right, 28-0, so we won't use the word vanilla anymore, but you guys come up with a flavor that's really gross that we can use in its place.
Just say bland or mediocre.
Coverage of Crusader football tonight brought to you in part by Hutchinson Community College, by Mid-Kansas Credit Union, by Dick's Phillips 66. We'll have our Phillip of the game coming up later on tonight, by Newfeld's Flooring, and by Daylight Donuts. 28-0 with $1:49 here to go in the first. We had that Winfield score leading 14-0, starting the second over Independence. Winner of this game meets the winner of that game next Friday in our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard. And Kingman now leading end of one over Trinity Catholic down in 2A, 8-0. That game being played in Kingman tonight. Here is Jeffrey with the kickoff end over end. He's going to drive it back inside the 5. It'll be taken, returned from the 3-yard line across the 15 by Brax Fisher and down to the 17.
Great special teams tackle made by Carson Moeller yet again tonight.
Boy, how about that INT return? Unfortunately, it was wiped off the board last week for the touchdown for Carson. But then Coach and I had a good chuckle. I saw him at tailback on that next series, and I knew why.
Yes.
Little redemption.
Yep. If a kid misses out on a defensive touchdown, it's great to get him the chance on the offensive side.
Abilene here from their own 16, out of the shotgun. 2 backs behind Hartman, and flags out at the snap.
And guys, it looks like Carson dislocated his finger over there, actually.
So Doc Lackey over there working on it, but
he came right off the field holding it like this and told Coach and went straight to Doc.
So the false start on Abilene will move them back as they continue to hover around the south goal line, which if you're a Cowboy fan is not where you want to be.
I haven't had to move very much from about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, this whole game has been played on the south side of the field for the most part.
All right, it'll be 1st and 15. And Abilene, out of the spread eye, runs up the middle.
They attempted to run up the middle.
And lost a couple of more back to the 12. Well, certainly we don't want to make light of the situation or pile on any more than it's already happening on the field. You know, this Abilene team is out there giving it everything they've got. But I will say the school record for least yards allowed in a game, total yards, is 0.
Okay.
We're on a pace to beat that.
That record was set in 2009 against El Dorado.
They held El Dorado to negative yards a couple years ago, too.
2nd and 15 from the 13. Out of the sweep, they'll hand it off to the jetback, far side. And might have got a yard forward to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, Dalen Coffey, the defensive end on the far side with the big stick. And that's good to see the Crusaders, even though they're playing a team that's overmatched, just keeping the intensity up and bringing it on the defensive side.
Record for fewest rushing yards in a game, though, is minus 53. That also came in 2009 against Haven.
So the records aren't quite as old as those records that we were talking about last week from the 20s, but still, 2009's been a minute ago.
That 2009 team was really good. 3rd down and 15 here. Here the 14-yard line. This will be the final play of the first quarter. They'll hand it off up the middle. It is Miller on the carry. And no gain. That'll bring up 4th down. That 2009 team went all the way to the semifinals. That was the year that Jordan Oden in the quarterfinals got hurt in the 4th quarter at Rose Hill. 28-0, end of one. Bueller leading here. Abilene facing a punt on a 4th down coming up on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Hi, this is Jade with Idea Tech. We love bringing internet freedom to the residents and businesses of Bueller, Kansas. Idea Tech is a proud supporter and the preferred internet provider of the Bueller Crusaders. As the Crusaders know, speed wins. We back up our lightning-fast internet with a customer-first philosophy. That means you'll talk to a live person from our offices in Bueller when you call in. If you're not already a customer, go to ideatech.com and click on Check Availability, or call 620-543-5000 to inquire about our services.
As your American Family Insurance agent in Hutchinson, I'm looking out for what matters to you, even when nothing's wrong. This is Sheila Metzger, agent at the Sheila Metzger Agency. Call me at 665-0400 and let's talk about your insurance needs today.
American Family Insurance.
HKFM.
All right, back here to start the second quarter. Yeah, I was talking about that 2009 team. They had an opening round game in Colby, which happened to be on this very night, October the 29th. When it was snowing with a 40-mile-an-hour wind. It was not fun.
That's back when I was coaching in Northwest Kansas, Aaron, and I remember how miserable the weather was that evening.
It was terrible.
40-40 night, right?
Yep, good old 40-40 night.
The snow falling It's not a lot of fun.
Oh, it was a miserable, miserable evening out there.
4th down and 14 for Abilene. As for the first time tonight, we're on this side of the field, and Abilene will have to punt it away again. The first quarter was all spent on the south side of the field, and we finally moved over to the north side.
We actually had to move down there on the sidelines now.
Yeah, my legs were getting kind of stiff.
They'll call that kick out of bounds at the 49. That is where Bueller will start. First series of the second quarter. 11:53 to go here in the half. And the Crusaders from the Abilene 49. Excited at halftime tonight. We'll be joined by head golf coach Brennan Torgerson and senior Callie Cooper, who just finished third in 4A state. Here's Sam Elliott. Off tackle far side, now cuts back to the middle at the 40. Still on his feet, 35-30. Racing his way to the 25 and stumbling down to the 20 as he's brought down. And nearly a 30-yard gain. That time we'll get the official number here for Sam Elliott, who just keeps running.
And he did a great job of fighting his way out of tackles. That's going to be a 31-yard run there by Sam, as he is getting oh so close. I think he might have just passed Jordan Oden. Let's get the official number right here, Aaron.
I'd give him 32 if they started at the 49.
Okay, you want to know the crazy thing, Aaron? He had to have 113 to break. He has 113 yards.
All right, Sam Elliott now third all-time in school history. Carries on 1st and 10 from the 19 and powers his way, being gang tackled at the 16-yard line. That is Sam's smallest gain of the night for 3 yards. It'll be second down from there with 11:07 to go here in the half.
Well, Aaron, you always talk about the Mount Rushmore of Bueller tailbacks. Sam Elliott etching his way into
there's no doubt
the top 4 and passing one of the all-time greats in Jordan Oden. That was one of the things Coach Warner talked about in the pregame, that a lot of these former Bueller backs enjoying seeing Sam have all the success.
Out of the I formation, here is Elliott. Little juke move inside the 10 down to the 5. He'll be drugged down near the 6-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal. Add another 10 yards onto Sam's total there.
He's just so patient off the line. I mean, letting the blocks get through. Yes, there weren't very many blocks there, but he still was able to get several yards there and make a lot of moves to fake out the defenders, make them look silly.
1st and goal from the 7. They'll put Brad out of the gun with Sam to his left, 2 receivers left. Eddie, the lone receiver, to the near side. Here is Sam Elliott, walks untouched into the end zone. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the night for the Crusaders.
Well, anytime your tailback can score and be untouched on the entire carry, that's a thing of beauty. Great block.
He was touched, but gently.
Yeah, gently. Great blocking up front, as Tanner Tushton, fullback, had a nice kick-out block there.
And the thing is, it's 34-0, and I believe only 1 passing attempt, right?
3.
Well, pass for a touchdown.
Well, the reverses, obviously.
Brad is having 1 for 3 in the first half. 63 touchdowns in Sam's career now. He is 1 shy of Dylan England for 4th. 34-0, 35-0, 10-14 to go here in the opening half. All Crusaders tonight here from Crusader Stadium on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Hi, this is Robin Swanson. I am a candidate for the USD 313 Bueller School Board. For the past 11 years, I have had a passion for helping in the schools and district. I have served on many PTOs, holding officer positions and leading multiple committees. Throughout those years, I have had 4 children in the district, and my youngest son is currently a freshman at BHS. I am running because I want to continue to serve our community and help make our district as successful as possible. On November 2nd, vote for Robin Swanson. Thank you.
Paid for by Robin Swanson. At H&R Block, we're here all year at tax time or anytime to help get answers for your tax questions. Stop by H&R Block in Hutch at 2nd and Washington, on the Square in Lyons, or in downtown Ellsworth today. Get your taxes won at H&R Block.
HKFM.
And back here with 10-14 to go in the opening half. Bueller leading 35-0. Jeffrey will squib it this time, and it's going to be falling on short at the 40-yard line. And Abilene will have their best field position of the night on the squib recovered by Braden Wilson. Well, you heard Robin Swanson, one of our candidates for school board November 2nd. Whoever you're going to vote for, we would encourage you to get out and vote. A lot of important school board election seats up. Of course, a lot of big things to decide in the county as well. So.
Yep, trying to decide whether to go from 3 to 5 commissioners, and lots of city council elections, not just in Bueller but also in Hutch, contested as well.
All right, Abilene from their own 40, 1st and 10. It'll be Hartman under center out of the sweep play to the far side. On the carry this time is Keaton Hardgrove. Hardgrove had 32 carries for 97 yards coming into tonight. And not much there. No gain at the 40. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Levi Atherton out there to help make the stop. Ken Bueller without. Colin Rowland tonight with a high ankle sprain. Also tweaked his knee in the game last week. Scheduled to have an MRI on Monday. Hopefully he'll get the all clear. And he told me tonight, he said, I'll tape up and play on the ankle sprain. I don't have a lot to lose there, but definitely got to make sure that knee's okay.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to come back because he's contributed so much over his career, and Abilene now gets a delay of game penalty.
Game clock runs down to 0.
Well, I have a couple other 4A playoff Bueller Dental Care scoreboard updates. The Circle T-Birds bouncing back after last week. They currently lead Rose Hill 14-0, and Wamego leading Great Bend 7-0. So the #1 team, or one of the other highly ranked teams in the West, leading Great Bend.
2nd down and 15 after the delay of game, but a throw incomplete far side intended for Brax Fisher.
And the
It'll be 3rd down.
Slot receiver on the near side, Keaton Hargrave, took off early for Abilene, but when you're down 35-0 with 9 minutes left to go in the second quarter, officials tend to kind of tuck the flag away.
Talk about that Circle team is not a bad football team.
No, I have repeatedly told people that was a good football team that Bueller had their way with last week, and I know we talked about it, but Chanute is the #2 team in the East. They have 1 loss on the season, and it was to none other than Circle.
3rd down and 15, 9:09 to play here in the half. Hartman will be out of the gun for Abilene. Out of the spread eye formation, right side run, forward progress near the 40, back to the original line of scrimmage. So give him an extra yard to the 41. It'll be 4th down from there. Yeah, that's one of those nights where, like, you as the head coach even, you could call anything you wanted, and just everything seems to fall into place.
Yeah, it was a night that just things fit together perfectly for the Crusaders, and they're going to force Abilene to punt away. So the Bueller Black Knight defense continuing to play well. And I tell you, sometimes in a game like tonight, it's hard to keep the intensity if Bueller's doing it.
Abilene will kick it away. Their 5th, make it 6th series of the night. And they have yet to get the ball across midfield. This one will bounce and be down at the 21. And Bueller will take over on offense. We expect to see a steady dose of the JV, maybe even some freshmen in the second half tonight. See how deep we get into the bench. Freshmen just came up this week.
Yeah, and the freshmen had the opportunity to play with the JV over at Circle because Circle canceled the freshman game, so it was fun to get to see some of those different combinations of the freshmen playing with some of the sophomores and juniors down on JV.
Bueller leading here 35-0. They have scored on all 5 series they've had so far here in the half. Here's Elliott from the 20. And far side short gain to the 23.
And looking at the size of difference from the Abilene against the Bueller sideline, tremendous. I mean, Abilene, I'm sure that we could count on our own fingers at the most 15 over on that sideline. But over here, it's an absolute humongous sideline right now.
Boy, pretty rough when Sam Elliott's worst carry of the night is 3 yards.
Yeah.
2nd down and 7, 24, clock running. Left to right here, Bueller in the second quarter, out of the I formation. Elliott to the outside of the 30, 35. Steps inside it, would-be tackler, and forward progress up to the 38-yard line. 14 more yards for Sam Elliott on that play as we'll near the 7-minute mark here in the half. And
yeah, this possession's a chance for Sam to pick up some yards. Bueller's been getting the ball like at the red zone almost every time. This time, 21-yard line. There's a lot of yards for Sam to get on this possession.
Yeah, all but one of their drives previous to this started on Abilene's side of the field. 1st and 10 from the 38. They'll stay in the eye. Middle of the field, here's Elliott. Patiently waits for the hole, now bounces to the outside. Drug down from behind at the 48-yard line. Another gain of 10. That'll be close to another first down. They're going to move the sticks. Well, wasn't that all that long ago? We talked about how Abilene is struggling when Coach Warner took over this Bueller team. There was a period of about 4 or 5 years between when Coach Porter retired and when Coach Warner came, and that was a tough season for this Crusader team. And not to forget that, I mean, that seems like a long time ago now, but certainly never take for granted what you have. 1st and 10 from the 49, out of the I formation. Here is Elliott cutting inside at the 45. Flag comes out in the backfield. And they're
going to get the Crusaders.
They get a hold here on.
Yeah, Bodie Redenbaugh tackled his Abilene defensive lineman that he was dealing with. So the first penalty, I believe, of the evening on the Crusaders.
You know, I was looking at the Abilene roster. There's 16 kids on this roster that are taller than 6'1". There's some height on this team, but, you know, and I didn't even count up the kids that are 6 feet. So, I mean, there's some big kids out there, but, you know, maybe they're more basketball players.
That's going to move the ball back to the 37 with the hold on Bodie Redenbaugh. That'll be Bueller's first penalty tonight. Averaging 5.5 penalties, 53 yards a game. It'll be first and about 22 here. First down stick is up at the Abilene 42-yard line. I'll go with 2 tight ends here on first down. Out of the eye, they pitch it far side to Sam. Try to get to the edge at the 45-50. He's got the first down and then some. Still on his feet at the 30, down to the Abilene 25-yard line. Well, you throw a challenge Sam Elliott's way. Challenge accepted and met. Well, he comes up with a big run and a first down.
Well, he's such a good runner. Bueller has that first and long situation, one of your best long distance play options. Just getting Sam the ball on the edge, and that's what they did on the toss sweep. Great job on the far side by Matthew Eddy, as he was the receiver that really set the edge with the block out there.
41 yards on the carry for Sam, down to the 22. It was a 1st and 22, and Elliott got twice what he needed. Out of the eye, nearing the red zone again. Here's an inside carry by Sam, and he powers his way down to the 16-yard line. We talk about it all the time, but how important are those, even if it is 2, 3, 4 yards, those inside runs, important for those to be successful?
Oh, that's where everything starts. I mean, as a defense, you want to protect the interior. If you can't protect the interior, you really have nothing to stand on. And, you know, Sam and Coach Warner calling those inside runs, something that really kind of frees up the outside, because then they have to start loading up the blocks, playing their outside linebackers in a little bit more. But, again, just a testament to how strong Sam is. Brenton Reif, one of the big, tall kids you were talking about down there, 6'2", 275. Sam drug him for a couple yards at the end of that play.
And with how hard he churns his legs himself, he could churn some butter with that. Just sheer power.
2nd down and 14, or 2nd down and 4 from the 16.
I think we have electric motors for that.
Mace McCabe is checked in at receiver to the near side. And they're going to line up in a 2 tight end formation here on 2nd down. Under center, Brad will take the snap from Ellis. Here is Elliott. Starts far side and then cuts back up the middle across the 10.
First and goal.
And down to the 9-yard line.
Well,
it'll be 1st and goal.
An interesting score on the Bueller Dental Care scoreboard update. Elsewhere in 4A West action, Augusta is leading El Dorado right now, 12-11. How often do you see that score?
Here's an El Dorado team that we saw, and their offense looked really good back earlier in the season, but they down the stretch. They have really struggled. First and goal, Crusaders out of the I formation. Two team receivers near side. They'll give it to Sam. He'll bounce to the outside. He'll carry an Abilene defender down to the 1. It'll be second and goal from there.
Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, between Augusta and El Dorado guys, I mean, I was a lot more impressed with El Dorado's offense than Augusta's.
Right. Well, I mean, earlier in the season, Augusta defeated El Dorado, and so when El Dorado only lost to us by 8, we were a little concerned, but then for some reason, since then, the flip was switched, and now they just steamrolled over Augusta and pretty much every team they faced.
Well,
it's a big rivalry.
Of course, they run the same offense, the flex bone. Here's Sam Elliott. Got met at the goal line, bounced off the tackler, and walked in for the touchdown.
Great carry by Sam, and Keaton Hargrave tried to stop Sam at the goal line, but again, you talk about how strong Sam is. Sam was the one that delivered the blow that time as the would-be tackler hit Sam and just fell to the deck, and Sam walks across the goal line.
So how many yards did Sam pick up on this drive?
Well, we started off at the 20.
21. But there's that penalty.
He had 10 yards added to that.
I think he picked up about all the yards, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. So, I mean, he's over the 200-yard mark easily now tonight.
All right, Jeffrey Neal on for the extra point. It is up and good. Bueller adds to their lead here. 3:59 to go in the half. Crusaders up 42-0 here on this Friday, the opening round of the 4A playoffs on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
If you need a piece of metal or an angle for a small project or a complete fabrication project done, call us at Johnson Sheet Metal or stop by 512 South Main in Hutchinson. We know metal. This is Sarah Johnson, and my family has been in business for 99 years. With a huge stock of different sheets, shapes of steel, stainless, galvanized, and aluminum, Johnson Sheet Metal has what you need. We cut to size, bend, roll, punch, or weld to your specifications and can make your ag replacement panels too. Johnson Sheet Metal.
As your American Family Insurance agent in Hutchinson, I'm looking out for what matters to you, even when nothing's wrong. This is Sheila Metzger, agent at the Sheila Metzger Agency. Call me at 665-0400 and let's talk about your insurance needs today.
American Family Insurance.
HKFM.
An 8-play, 89-yard drive for the Crusaders. Sam Elliott had every one of those 89. And Bueller now 42-0 with 3:59 here to go in the half. Talking about the slide of El Dorado, losing 4 of their last 5 to end the season. Here is Jeff with the kickoff to the 10, far side. It'll be taken there by Abilene. Returned across the 20-25. Decent return by the Cowboys. And they'll get it up to near the 31, driven out of bounds there.
So, Aaron, what was the point spread on this game? About 85?
Well, at least. The over-under. Will they get to 76 again, I guess, at this point?
Well, this is already just in the series history. There's only been 4 times that Bueller scored more against Abilene in total, and this is just in the first half.
3:53 to go. Abilene will be from their own 31. 1st and 10. Out of the gun is Aaron Hartman. He'll hand it off to his tailback across the 30. And forward progress to the 36-yard line. 9-0 all-time in the series. First game of the series back in 2017. 5 of those have been in the playoffs. They do not like Bueller in Abilene.
No, I remember years ago I was at Cub Scout camp at Camp Brown, and we had a bunch of Bueller Cub Scouts, and the archery director came up to one of our little kids and say, "Did you come to end our season?" And our little kids didn't know what the heck he was talking about, but he had a son that had played for Abilene.
2nd down and 6. And Hartman will hand it off in the sweep. Fumble ball loose, and Bueller's going to have it at the 30-yard line.
Guess who got it?
Recovered by Sam Elliott.
So takeaway number 25 on the season for the Crusaders. They are now plus 18 on the season, and Sam continues to have a big night offensively and defensively.
Of course, I will say this. Abilene has had some great basketball teams, and they've been to a few Bueller seasons in basketball.
They've had some good football players, too. You remember the Sexton twins?
Yep. Cody Whitehair.
And Coach Cody Whitehair, who's now playing in the NFL. 3:07 to go here. Bueller's going to have it back. Second quarter from the Abilene 30, 1st and 10. And Brad under center will take the snap, hands it off. Sam Elliott, inside run. Across the 25 to the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. A number of years ago, and I wish I could remember the kid's name. Gain of another 12 there for Sam. Had a receiver who was one-handed. He, in some sort of an accident, had lost one of his hands and caught the ball. It was just really, fantastic to watch with one hand and such effort there. And a pretty neat kid. I don't remember his name, though.
Well, there was a one-handed running back earlier this year for, I believe it was in the state of Florida, that beat one of the better running backs. I wish I could remember who the running back was.
1st and 10 from the 19. Here's Sam again. Goes right, cuts left. Touchdown, Crusaders. All he does is score touchdowns. Sam Elliott.
And I tell you what, he's doing it in traffic and just saw the seam, saw the cut back, and just cut back across the grain and takes it in on a nice little 20-yard carry there as the Crusaders continue to pile up the points. And there's still 2:28 left to go here in this first half, fellas.
Sam Elliott with 4 touchdowns tonight. Of course, 6 twice the most in his career, is tied for a school record. Tied with Tanner Fisher for that record. From the 10, Jeffrey Neal kicks it through again. 2:28 to go here before halftime. Our coverage tonight brought to you in part by the Bueller Booster Club, also by Hutchinson Community College, by Jackson Meat, by Rise Up Reno, and by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs. Again, we'll talk with the head coach of our golf teams, Brennan Torgerson, coming up at halftime. Callie Cooper joins us as well. Interesting to get Callie's perspective. Is at the state tournament a couple of weeks ago, she went and had a fantastic first round, tied for first after day one, and just kind of her mindset going into day two. Ends up finishing third, and really puts her up there with some of the great Crusader golfers in school history, whether it be Lauren Specht, who's playing out at Dodge City now, Haley Miller, of course, the great Taryn Torgerson, who's now coaching the Newman Jets in Wichita.
Yeah, the women's golf program here at Bueller, really one of the, we have so many great programs here at Bueller, but Coach Torgerson has just done such a nice job building that program up, and they're year in and year out contenders.
He had a very young team this year and coached them all the way to state. Has a good group coming back next year.
Well, it'll be a little bit more difficult here for Jeffrey to get a touchback with the wind, and they'll squib it. Actually, no, not
squib. Bounces, touch, the ball's loose at the 4. It'll be picked up from there. And Abilene's going to start back near their own 6 with the football after another big boot by Jeffrey Neal.
I'll tell you what, Abilene's got absolutely atrocious field position here as the ball back near the 6-yard line. So if you're the Bueller Black Knight defense, you're thinking right now, if I get a turnover, I've got a chance to score. So these guys are going to really pin their ears back here.
The officials just gave him an extra 3 yards. He was down about the 4, but they moved it up.
Down at the 7 is where they call it, 1st and 10 Abilene. Yeah, Jackson Childs, he had a pick 6 earlier this year on that defensive line, licking his chops. They'll hand it off up the middle, and nothing there. No gain on the play at the 7. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, the Black Knight front 4 has just spent the entire evening in their backfield. You mentioned Jackson Childs, Gavin Patton, Coffey, and Van Bruggen just been pouring through that front line of Abilene's.
Our Baser Linwood this week ranked number 1 in the 4A, 8-0 in the East. They're taking on Labette County tonight. Andover Central has Wellington ranked 2nd and Bueller at 3. St. James Academy moving up to 4 with a big win last week over Miege, and Bishop Miege falling to 5. 2nd down and 10 for the Cowboys to carry up the middle.
Childs and Patton in on the stop for Bueller, and so now Abilene.
No gain again at the 7. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
And if they don't convert here on third down, they're going to give the ball back to Bueller on the short field. So Bueller will have a chance to possibly get into the 50s here in the first half. And doing so, not even through the air whatsoever pretty much. I mean, it has just been ground and pound right at Abilene.
Halftime now on our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard. Winfield leading Independence 14-7. Third down and 10, 1:04 to go in the half. Hardman under center. They'll put a receiver in motion, hand off to the tailback, and maybe a yard will give them to the 8.
Jackson
It'll
Childs
be fourth down.
in on the stop, so Abilene will punt it away. 45 seconds left to go in the half. And they'll probably run, there's 32 seconds left on the play clock, so they'll probably run it down as far as they can, maybe burn with their timeouts to give Bueller as little time as possible.
Also coming up at halftime, heartbreaker last night for our soccer team that ended their season on a penalty kick by Coffeyville. Our Bueller Marching Band has a busy weekend. I think it's KBA weekend, is it not?
Yep.
In Lawrence?
Heading up to Lawrence, America to try to win that state title.
Enjoy the view tomorrow. It's
I will be there, but only to support my daughter.
And also cross country. Boys going to look to win their 4th straight, and girls to be able to make some noise again. I mean, they've been up there the last several years. But really the story is how high can Tanner place, and also will the boys four-peat.
We've got a timeout here with 11 seconds on the clock, and Abilene facing a punt. So Wamego is the site of cross country. Kind of interesting looking at some of the top times in the state in cross country. Bueller has 2 runners, Tanner Lindahl and Hayden Keller, who both have top 5 times in 4A this year, and so they both have a chance to do really well tomorrow. But the Wamego Country Club.
And it's good to see Hayden finally running fast again, because his sophomore and junior year, he battled some injuries with his calf and his ankle every once in a while. So his times were really slower than how he runs. But this year, being able to stay healthy, and like you said, being top 5. Then you got Caden Lawrence, you got the Bunce brothers, you got Austin Lindahl, and then also another freshman, Henry Trump. They have really been improved. There's 3 freshmen on that team, and they're the number-ranked team in the state.
Lindsey Warner has led the effort for the girls this year as Caleb Becker is set to punt out of his own end zone. And not much of a punt. It goes almost straight up in the air. It bounces at the 29, and it's going to roll out of bounds, and Bueller's going to have about 4 seconds on the clock here.
And it'll be interesting because this might be actually, they're going to bring the JV offense out here for the final play of the half. So be interesting to see if the JV can do anything with this final down in this first half. The JV, of course, coming off a big win Monday night down at Circle. And it was a good team win. All the freshmen played as well. And so it'll be fun to talk about some of those young men here on this down and for a good chunk of the second half.
So Jeffrey Neal will take over at quarterback here. Jeffrey, in his sophomore season, just 1 pass attempt this year, 0 for 1. He does have 5 carries for 79 yards. Had a nice rush last week. Gavin Patton will be in there at tailback. Of course, we probably won't see a lot of Gavin tonight either, just the fact that he is the starting 2-tech on the defense. And Bueller actually takes a delay of game here. And that'll push the ball back to the 36.
Yeah, Patton hasn't seen much action at tailback last 2 or 3 weeks. They've kept him back to prep with the varsity, so this will be the first time Gavin's maybe had the chance to run it in a while.
I'm going to go with a receiver in motion. And a handoff to the far side at the 30 and out of bounds near the 26. Time will expire here to end the first half. The Crusaders dominate the first 24 minutes of play tonight, leading the Abilene Cowboys here in this opening round of the 4A state playoffs 49-0. Bueller scores on every possession except for that last one there right at the end of the half. Coach Warner is all the way out in the middle of the field right now talking to the officials about something here. Crusader football brought to you in part by Wifco Still Products, also by Ray and Sons Roofing, by Cargill Salt, by the Sheeta Metzger Agency, by the Medicine Shop, and by Midwest Iron and Metal. Coach Warner still having a conversation with the officials about something.
Well, Coach, Quite a first half again.
Taking care of business, just like we talked about before the game with the kids. We've got to take care of business, and we did. And great half. JV's in the rest of the game, and which only makes us better for the future.
It's great to get starters out with no impact.
Without a doubt.
All right, so you heard Coach say the JV will be in the second half coming up. Good night by the varsity. Took care of business. Expect a little bit of a tougher foe next week on either Winfield or Independence. And Winfield up a touchdown, 14-7 at the half in their game. Halftime coming up. We'll sit down with head golf coach Brennan Torgerson, senior Callie Cooper when we come back here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Bank of Kansas halftime report. Prairie Bank of Kansas, serving Central Kansas since 1886. Coming up, an in-depth look at Crusader athletics and activities with This Week in Crusader Sports.
As your community bank, Prairie Bank of Kansas is always looking for ways to make banking more convenient, like e-statements. Eliminate the need to file your monthly statements. Now you can be notified the moment your statement is available and easily access it online. Sign up for e-statements online at prairiebankks.com or visit one of our locations in Stafford, Bueller, Inman, or Hutchinson. Prairie Bank of Kansas. How banking should be.
Hi, Steve here from Red Rock Auto Center in South Hutchinson. Try the full-service lanes at Red Rock Auto Center. We're one of the few remaining full-service stations in our area. Barbecuing this weekend? Have us fill your propane tank or even your RV. Red Rock Auto Center at 200 North Main in South Hutchinson. We're here when you need us.
Fall favorites are back at Jackson Meat, just in time for the cool fall air. Be sure to try our new caramel dips, peach jam, and gourmet popcorn. Pair these fall favorites with our fresh meats for a one-stop shopping experience. Shop locally with us at Jackson Meat in Hutchinson.
And back here at halftime, as we talk Crusader golf. Bueller Golf wrapped up the season here a couple of weeks ago. Coach Brennan Torgerson joins us, also senior Callie Cooper. Thanks for taking some time, guys.
You're welcome.
Coach, pretty excited to get your group back to state and experience that. I know that the last couple of years they've gone to that two-day format, which seems to be fun for the kids. And I know team-wise you guys didn't make it, but you had a couple of individuals get to that second day and have some real good success.
With the time, this is, I believe, the third year that we've had the two-day, and we've experienced everything from winning a state championship to making it the second day last year to just finishing out of third place, and this year the team not qualifying. But so we've experienced everything. But the two-day format is fantastic. It's been great for Kansas high school golf, and very much support it. Yeah, we didn't play quite as well as I would have liked, and the team would have liked to have played, but we got some great experience with our new people, and it was a great environment for them. And then the Cooper sisters represented Bueller in day two, and Marley came back with a better round on the second day, finished 27th, I believe, and Callie played a great round on Tuesday and finished third. And
Callie, what's your mindset? Obviously, through day one, you're tied for first. Do you sleep much that night? Kind of, how are you processing things?
I got a text from my brother before Torg or like anybody else told me, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, you're tied for first." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Huh?" But yeah, I didn't get a lot of sleep that night, but obviously I got enough to play decently the next day. So
absolutely, getting to experience that, accomplish medaling top three, and being able to do that with your sister, you know, as time goes on, will that mean something different, or will your perspective change on that, or kind of how do you process all of that?
After the round, I definitely wasn't as happy with it as I probably should have been with the third place. But as days pass, I'm really proud of myself for the third place and all the progress that I've made this year. And just looking back at my freshman year and my senior year, I'm excited for college, and I'm excited to see how my sister does for the next couple years with the team as well. So,
Coach, how are you approaching that with your kids? I know there's a lot mental to sports, and certainly you can play yourself out of contention by struggling mentally. How do you approach that with the kids?
Well, it's one of the reasons why I've appreciated the 2-day tournament is it's a good thing for kids to go to bed chasing or being chased, and going to bed with the lead. And there's so many underlying positive things that come from that. How you deal with adversity, how you deal with a little bit of pressure, how you deal with being in first place and those kinds of things. And maybe not right now, but I think as Callie moves away from it even more, I think she'll realize that there were more benefits than she realizes right now to being in that situation. And, you have to be in that situation to know how to deal with the situation in the future. So all those things are very positive. She's left her mark in the program. And hopefully all the ones that are coming back next year, we've got 6 of our top 7 are back next year. So the outlook looks really good. And hopefully they've learned a lot from not only what Callie says, but what she did this year and just how she carried herself.
Callie, when you hear that, you talk about some of the golfers now that puts you up there with, whether it's Lauren Specht or Haley Miller or Taryn Torgerson, some of those that have had so much success. And you hear those words the coach says, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, for as long as I can remember, I've seen Taryn and there's posters all over the wall. And there's scores on here that she shot that I can't even imagine shooting. But, my high school career, I looked up to Haley for like my freshman and sophomore year, especially during state my sophomore year. And then Lauren after that, my junior year. And we're all still really good friends, and I look up to them a lot, and they're all really good golfers, and it means a lot to be able to have someone tell me that I'm up there with them. It's very special.
Well, very good. Callie, thanks for your time. Best of luck with your rest of your senior year, and we're excited to see where you land next year, so thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, always a pleasure.
You bet. Thanks, and go Crusaders.
All right, absolutely. Bueller Golf, Coach Brennan Torgerson and senior Callie Cooper with us here at halftime. We're back with more right after this.
You're listening to the Prairie Bank of Kansas Halftime Report. Coming up, we'll bring you analysis and break down the numbers from tonight's game. Stream HKFM right to your phone with the Ad Astra radio app. Your home for Crusader football, HKFM.
If you're looking for a late starting college class, Hutchinson Community College may have what you need. It's not too late to get enrolled. We have classes starting throughout the semester. Call 620-665-3535 or email myfuture@hutchcc.edu today.
Dr. Ediger is very good when a problem arises. We had that happen with our daughter. He went in to do some work and then found another issue and communicated with me and gave me the option, but yet told me what he would do if it were his daughter. He gives you options that work with your family's budget.
Hi, this is Dr. Corey Ediger, inviting you and your family to call me at 663-9136. That's 663-9136. Or stop by my office on East 30th to make an appointment today at Ediger Family Dental.
Where patients come first.
1947. It was the year the Mackenzie Paint and Body Shop opened for business. That's over 70 years they've been serving the Mid-Kansas area with quality workmanship, excellent refinishing, paint, and restoration. Mackenzie Paint and Body Shop specializes in foreign and domestic vehicles. Insurance claims are welcome and 24-hour towing and recovery service is available. At Mackenzie Paint and Body Shop, they take the dents out of accidents. Just over the bridge at 45 Kansas Avenue in South Hutchinson.
HKFM.
Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome back here at halftime. A little bit of our award-winning Crusader marching band here at the half as well. Headed to the KBA. Coming up tomorrow in Lawrence. Tonight brought to you in part by Johnson Sheet Metal, by the Prairie Bank of Kansas, by Waypad Insurance, and by Idea Tech. 7 first-half touchdowns for the Crusaders tonight. Runs of 23-7, 7-1, and 18 for Sam Elliott. 5 more touchdowns now to his prestigious career. He's at 64 rushing touchdowns all time. Cameron Campbell out of the sweep with a 7-yard carry for a score. And then the one pass for a touchdown, 14 yards on the tight end dump to Bo Van Bruggen. 49-0 here at the half, and let's take a look at our first half numbers. Brought to you by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs. Proudly serving businesses in Kansas for the past 70 years. Online at AdamsBrownCPA.com.
Well, no surprise on how these numbers look for the Crusaders. A dominating half on the scoreboard as well as statistically at the half. In total offense, Bueller with 293 yards of total offense compared to Abilene's negative 14 yards of total offense. Getting into the individual stats, first passing-wise, we mentioned it earlier, Bradley Neal, 1 of 3 for 14 yards and touchdown pass, whereas Aaron Hartman is 0 of 3 tonight with not a completion. On the ground, Bueller with the decided advantage, 279 yards rushing compared to Abilene's negative 14 yards rushing. And penalty-wise tonight, Bueller 2 penalties for 15 yards, Abilene with 4 with 20. Time of possession, Abilene actually winning that part of it with the ball for almost 13 minutes compared to Bueller's 10 minutes. And here's a stat that really bodes well for Bueller as well. 17 first downs in the first half for Bueller. Abilene yet to receive their first down of the evening. Taking a look at the individual rushing yards, Sam Elliott, 21 carries for 257 yards, 5 touchdowns, averaging 12.2 yards a carry. Gavin Patton with the 1 11-yard carry. Cameron Campbell with the 1 7-yard carry and the touchdown. And Brock McCurdy with the 1 4-yard carry. For Abilene, leading rusher at the half, Zach Miller, 12 carries for 11 yards. Thomas Keener, 1 carry for 1 yard. Keaton Hargrave, 1 carry for 0 yards. And then you get into the negatives. Cooper Wildy with 1 carry for -5. Aaron Hartman, 1 carry for -7. And Weston Rock, 3 carries for -14. And, of course, the one reception of the night, Bo Van Bruggen with that 14-yard touchdown catch earlier on.
All right, so Sam Elliott now at 4,668 yards. Let me do some quick math here. He is now 3rd all-time, and Riley Allen's number is out there, and I think pretty good chance that Sam will catch Riley. For 2nd, he needs 170 yards.
I think Mr. Elliott will get that, and maybe even next week.
And then after that, Tanner Fisher's number, if they keep playing, let me just say this. If they play all the way to the end of November, Sam Elliott will be the all-time leading rusher in school history. Tanner Fisher is up there at 5,075. But if you were to look at 4 more games, that number is even at 100 yards a night. Sam could attain that. So some big things to come.
Yes, that'll be fun to see him continue to pile up the yards and move up the all-time rushing list.
And I just want to say, remember, it was about 4 weeks ago we were looking into the record books, and you said Sam wasn't going to even touch Riley Allen's or Tanner Fisher's. And so now he's got to play a couple. He has to play a couple more games, and he might be the all-time leading rusher in Bueller.
Aaron, keep giving him edge. Keep giving him something to get riled up about.
He's only excited.
And Tyler, keep telling him that Aaron's.
He's only excited because he comes up to Sam's shoulder pads when he stands next to him.
Very funny.
I'm just kidding, buddy. You're right, and I was wrong. So mark this down. All right, more coming up. We'll take a peek at tomorrow's state cross country. Get you some other scores on the way as well here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Find Prairie Bank of Kansas online at prairiebankks.com. The Prairie Bank of Kansas halftime report continues with tonight's This Week in Crusader Sports. Follow our Crusader football coverage on the sports page at adastroradio.com.
Rise and shine. It's daylight time and time to go to your happy place. October is a fun time at your 30th Street Daylight Donuts. Pumpkin spice, apple spice, and all your favorite fall flavor donuts are here. Daylight Donuts are always a perfect way to celebrate or say thank you. Order ahead for bigger orders and we'll have it all boxed up and ready to go. In fact, you can place your order right now at HutchinsonDaylightDonuts.com. Happy fall, y'all, from your 30th Street Daylight Donuts.
For sand, gravel, concrete, and decorative rock, call the professionals at Gravel and Concrete Incorporated. Locally owned and family operated, John, Chris, Laura, and Lyle Paulson are always happy to help you with your sand, gravel, and concrete needs. And be sure to check out their large selection of landscape holders. That's Gravel and Concrete Incorporated. Call 422-3249.
Serving all of Central Kansas, Gravel and Concrete Incorporated, 7010 North Nickerson Road. Call 422-3249.
At Dix Phillips 66, our family has kept motorists on the road for nearly 60 years. Hi, this is Janet Dick, inviting you to stop by our locally owned station at 1215 East 4th in Hutch. Dix offers top-tier gasoline, grab-and-go food options, and friendly service. Wherever you're headed, every journey begins with a stop at Dix Phillips 66, 4th and Stevens in Hutch.
As we head into fall, it's time to start thinking about all our favorite tailgating and game day foods. At Yoder Meats, we want to help, and we've got all the right products to make any meat-eating experience great. Ribs, pork butt, brisket, multiple sausage and broth flavors, rolled and tied chuck roast, and so much more. Stop by your favorite Yoder Meats location today to pick out your next fall event's main meat course. Follow us on Facebook for all the latest information and specials. Taste the old-fashioned flavor at Yoder Meats in Yoder and 3 locations in Wichita.
Here in West, back here at halftime, a quick look at our This Week in Crusader Sports. Bueller soccer saw its season come to a close last night on the road. The Crusaders fell 2-1 at Coffeyville. A Cooper Taylor goal put Bueller up 1-0 in the 27th minute. Coffeyville then tied the match at 1-1 with 13 minutes remaining. They'd eventually score the winning goal on a penalty kick. The young Crusaders finished the year winning 7 of 8 after starting 0-3. The cross-country boys captured a 4th straight regional title last Saturday at Prairie Ridge Cross Country Park. Bueller put 8 runners in the top 9 finishing positions. Heading into state this Saturday, both Tanner Lindahl and Hayden Keller have 2 of the top 5 times in 4A this year. The girls, meanwhile, placed runner-up at regionals to Rose Hill, also qualifying for tomorrow's state meet. Bueller will race at Wamego Country Club. The girls take the course at 10, followed by the boys at 11:20. Best of luck this weekend to the Bueller High Marching Band. The Crusaders compete tomorrow with the KBA in Lawrence. Much more coming up on our halftime as the 4A state playoffs open tonight. We'll get you updated with more scores and the second half coming up here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
This has been the Prairie Bank of Kansas Halftime Report. Prairie Bank of Kansas, serving Central Kansas since 1886. Join Aaron West and Chris Shank every Friday night for Bueller Crusader football. The second half kickoff is coming up next on HKFM.
Neufeld's Flooring, your experts in design and installation of carpet, tile, wood, and vinyl floor covering. Proudly sponsoring Bueller High School activities, Neufeld's Flooring in downtown Bueller.
Hi, this is Robin Swanson. I am a candidate for the USD 313 Bueller School Board. For the past 11 years, I have had a passion for helping in the schools and district. I have served on many PTOs, holding officer positions and leading multiple committees. Throughout those years, I have had 4 children in the district, and my youngest son is currently a freshman at BHS. I am running because I want to continue to serve our community and help make our district as successful as possible. On November 2nd, vote for Robin Swanson. Thank you.
Paid for by Robin Swanson.
An alarming number of Kansas preteens admit to drinking alcohol in the last 2 weeks, which makes it urgent for caring adults to find every opportunity to talk to their kids about the dangers of underage drinking. Research shows when youth have multiple conversations with adults about avoiding alcohol and other drugs, they listen. Underage drinking lowers inhibition and increases the chance of risky, regrettable behaviors. Find tips on what to say at riseupreno.org or on Facebook at Rise Up Reno Prevention Network.
What do you look for in an insurance company? Hello, this is Brad Patton from Wade Patton Insurance. If you're looking for sound advice, dependable service, and the careful evaluation of your family's insurance needs, you should give us a call. At Wade Patton Insurance, we specialize in personal service. Your agent that evaluates and sells you your policy is the same agent that will be there answering questions and providing sage advice when you need it. So if you're looking for personal service from an accessible agent, check us out online or give us a call at 620.
With Bueller Dental Care, you're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
All right, welcome back here to Advanced Periodontal Work, your hometown dentist, Bueller Dental Care, online at BuellerDentalCare.com. What do we got on the network there, sir?
Well, taking a look at some of the other games going on across the Ad Astra Sports Network. Up Up the dial on 100.3 KNZS, Kingman is beating Trinity Catholic at the half 37-7. On 94.7 KSKU in 2A action, Garden Plain is leading Haven at the half 28-8. Then on Kicks Country 106, last score we had out of Joel Weens Stadium in Hillsboro was the Trojans blanking the Douglas Bulldogs 48-0. And then the two online games, last score we had at the half, Cheney just hammering the Clearwater Fighting Indians 42-0. And then a game that went final earlier on Ad Astra Sports 2, Andale defeats Hugoton 53-2.
All right, of course, live coverage of those games online at adastraradio.com and the Ad Astra Radio app. Hutch up at the half on the BC.
Yeah, so Hutch is actually leading the former number 1 5A team until they lost to Wichita East last week. Bishop Carroll 14-7 at halftime.
Wow,
that would be a huge upset.
And in Wichita tonight, other halftime scores, Halstead leading Larned 6-0. Chanute over Bonner Springs in 4A 28-0. Andover leading Salina South at the half in 5A 38-7. 3A Holcomb 28, Heston 11 at halftime. Also in 3A, Collegiate leading Pratt 13-0. Casey Piper blanking Coffeyville at the half in 4A 20-0. Wamego at halftime leading Great Bend 14-0. Chapman edging Smoky Valley in 3A 22-20 at the half. Augusta now has pulled away at halftime over El Dorado 26-11 is the halftime score there.
A big 4A East score. St. James Academy is shutting out Lewisburg at the half 42-0. So that would set up the big matchup next week between St. James and Baser Linwood in what I feel like are the two teams that could possibly beat out Miege.
Gardner Edgerton leading Dodge City in 6A at halftime, 20-13. Mays South 27, Wichita Heights nothing. That's in 5A. Talked about that St. James score. Second quarter, Baser Linwood was leading Levack County. That's now a halftime score, 41-8. Halftime, Hoisington 7, Ellis nothing. Second quarter, Derby was leading Wichita Southeast 49-6.
Another update right now. The last one we got from Tonganoxie at halftime, 13-13 against Miege.
Wow.
The Chieftains.
Well, you've been saying it all year, Aaron, that you feel like the Miege Stags
not the same Miege
aren't the same.
They're
but
not.
This is one of those things, Aaron, where I am not going to rejoice.
Don't see it. Don't believe it till you see it.
I am not going to rejoice until they are gone.
Winfield, of course, at the half, leading Independence 14-7. The winner of this game gets the winner of that one next Friday night. And things hold here. It'll be Bueller hosting next Friday night here at Crusader Stadium. Abilene elected to receive to start the game, so they will kick off here the second half toward the north end zone.
Be prepared for an onside. Abilene has absolutely nothing to lose, being down 49-0 here.
And the players, some of the coats have come out for the first time this year as the Cowboys kick it off to the 15. This is Matthew Eddy on the return, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and up to the 42-yard line is where the Crusaders will start 1st and 10.
And that JV offense will take the field for the second time tonight. They came out for the final play of the second quarter here before the half, so it's going to be fun to call out some of these young men getting the chance to play this evening.
We would expect a running clock here as well in the second half.
And I just want to say there was a great block there by number 67, Nathan Hearn. He absolutely pummeled him and shoved his defender to the ground.
Big Nate.
As Jeffrey Neal takes over at quarterback. Out of the eye, it'll be the fullback breaking free up the middle at the 50, 45, 40, down to the 35-yard line, and a big run by Bueller on first down.
Levi Atherton gashing Abilene right up the gut.
And Levi Atherton rushed for a touchdown at that fullback position last week. Gets a big carry here on first down.
Well, he did get in a lot of time, actually, this first half on the defensive side, playing defensive end and two-tech.
That's a gain of 24 for Levi, down to the 34. It'll be 1st and 10 there. They'll stay in the eye. Tailback this time with the inside handoff. Forward progress down to about the 31-yard line.
That's Marcus Voss getting the carry. Voss is senior, 5'8", 160 pounds.
Progress down to the 32 and a gain of 2. I think Marcus had a rushing touchdown last week as well. Again, Gavin Patton is the second string running back, but because he is a starter on Bueller's defense at 2 Tech, not getting much running time.
Luca Gotti and Bryce Ruda will check in for the wideouts here on the near side.
Clock running at 10:08 to play in the third. Second down and 7. And a pitch play late near side. Voss trying to get to the edge at the 30 and trips over one of his own guys.
Yeah, Luca Gotti can be credited for the tackle right there.
Got his feet tangled up with Luca on the option play there as they fake it to the fullback, pitched it near side to Voss. Forward progress to the 28. So we got 4. And we're looking at third down at about 3 here.
I don't think that's the kind of credit he wants.
Bueller right to left here from the near side hash mark. It'll be Atherton on the carry at fullback. And forward progress to the 25-yard line. Looking at a 4th down and 1 here. Any reason why you wouldn't go for it here?
No, Bueller has
4th and 1.
The only reason you would maybe do anything other than go for it is just if you wanted to try a long field goal, but there's not really, Mr. Neal has proven that he's got a strong boot.
Jeffrey 0 for 1 just attempted the 1 field goal earlier in the year. So they'll go for it on 4th down and 1. It's going to be Neal on the keeper. He's got the first down. And down to the 20-yard line. And so Jeffrey needed 1. He gets 6. It'll be 1st and 10.
It was a great read that time by Jeffrey Neal as he faked to Atherton. The D-line really swarmed up on Atherton, so he just pulled it, then went around the right end and had enough for the first down. And he's done a really nice job on JV this year running the option. And believe it or not, in the open field, he can make some guys miss.
Bryce Ruda, Taven Gilliam, check back in at receiver here. 1st and 10 from the 20, out of the I formation fumble, and Jeffrey's going to fall on the ball at the 21-yard line. Yeah, I think next year in that quarterback position, Brad's done such a great job of managing the game as a passer, and he's been really fantastic in his senior year. I think we'll see his younger brother, though, run the option just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, years ago, you used to run a lot of option, and just kind of based on who's been the signal caller, it's varied to different degrees. But, yeah, he definitely, I have a feeling there'll be a lot of more option next year.
Logan Bronner, Luca Gotti split out to the far side on 2nd down and 11. They'll go back to the ground game. And the tailback, it is Marcus Voss in the far side carry. Forward progress down to the 16-yard line. So Marcus picks up 5, looking at 3rd at about 5 here. Yeah, you think back to, of course, Jace Williams ran the option a lot and well.
Yep, and then you think about Ethan White ran quite a bit of option when he was the signal caller.
Yeah. Ethan also, of course, in his senior year, making it to the state championship. Last time Bueller was there in 2016. That was the last time Bueller got past the quarterfinals in the 4A state playoffs. Just 4-4 the last 4 years. 3rd down and 5 here with the clock running in the 3rd quarter. Here's the option to the near side as Jeffrey Neal. Flag comes out, has the first down if it stands across the 10. Fakes it to the tailback going right. Jeffrey loops around to the left and gets down to the 5-yard line. There was a flag that came out in the secondary.
And with where it was thrown, I have a feeling it's going to be a hold, and especially with Bueller up as big as they are.
You're saying in this situation they would be less likely to call a flag against Abilene?
Abilene is going to pretty much have to punch somebody in the face to get a flag at this point in the game. They are not going to call penalties on Abilene.
It is a hold on the offense. Bueller's 2nd penalty of the night. Another nice option run, though, by Jeffrey there. That'll push the ball back to the 24. Bueller's 2nd penalty, as we mentioned, so now they're looking at 3rd and 14. Jeffrey has attempted just 1 pass this year. He is 0 out of the I formation, to high of the 20-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down for the Crusaders.
Let's see. I think they are going to try it. Yep, they are going to try the field goal here, which this is a good chance. It'd be great for Jeffrey Neal to get some confidence having a made field goal. So I agree with the call 100%.
Well, Jeffrey Neal is 0 for 1 this year.
It'll be a 39-yard field goal.
0 for 2 in his career. And so Briner will hold at the 29 from the far side hash mark. And a whistle at the snap.
And he got it, man, hopefully.
It was through. They blew a whistle. There's a flag down at the 20-yard line.
It was good by 10 or 15 yards. He had plenty of leg.
And Neal's already re-teeing it up, so it's going to be now a 44-yard field goal.
False start on the offense. That'll be a third penalty of the night, second on this series for the Crusaders, and Jeffries already moved himself back to the 34.
So what's the longest field goal in Bueller High's history?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, I believe, because I remember him as a kid, Gerben von Kliesbeck is all over the records in kicking, and I believe he has the longest field goal make in Crusader history, or he's up there. He was a foreign exchange student from Holland or Germany.
I'll have to do some looking.
Gerben von Kliesbeck.
Gerben von Kliesbeck.
I can still remember Mr. Schmidt calling his name out on kickoffs.
All right, here it is.
It's good.
From 44 yards, and it's good. Jeffrey Neal, first made field goal of his career. This one from 44 goes through, and Bueller gets on the scoreboard first here in the second half. 3:59 to go in the third now. And the Crusaders leading 52-0 back after this on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
Mid-Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Bueller. Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at mkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Bueller and in Moundridge. Member NCUA.
If you're looking for a late starting college class, Hutchinson Community College may have what you need. It's not too late to get enrolled. We have classes starting throughout the semester. Call 620-665-3535 or email myfuture@hutchcc.edu today.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Bueller Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on Ad Astra Radio.
So interesting, just looking at the kicking records, they really don't track the distance on the field goals. I can tell you, as Jeffrey kicks it back to the 11, it'll be returned there by Abilene. Near side 20,
Ball's
25.
Out.
Ball comes loose at the 25-yard line, and who's got it? Cowboys say they do. Bueller says they do. A return there by Brax Fisher. And it is going to be Cowboy ball with 3:49 to go in the third.
That kick could have been good from 50, 55 yards. He had plenty of leg.
So they don't have the longest field goal in there.
So Robert Magna Garcia and Steve Ashcraft are tied for the most field goals made in school history at 9. The longest one I can find was by Garcia, was a 44-yarder, which is what Jeffrey just kicked.
Okay, so he maybe tied the kicking record there.
I am not completely sure on that. 1st and 10 Abilene from their own 25. And they'll hand it off near side run and nothing there. It's been a tough night.
Good tackle there in the open field made by Carson Mueller.
Zach Miller. So Abilene minus 14 yards, is that what we said total? 0
Yes.
passing, negative 14 rushing
Yes.
in the first half?
Yes.
And we told you that the record is 0 in a game set in 2009. So Abilene's going to have to get at least 15 yards in the second half to avoid owning that record. Second down from their own 25-yard line. They'll hand it off again, and boy, there's a loss of 4 more as Zach Miller will be wrapped up in the backfield back at the 21-yard line, a loss of 4 yards.
Big Alex Lee in on the stop for the Crusaders there. Alex will be one of the juniors next year that'll most likely start up on that defensive line for Bueller.
We have another Bueller Dental Care scoreboard update. And in the third quarter right now, Hutch Salthawks are leading Bishop Carroll right now, 21-14.
Wow, that would be a huge upset for Coach Vernon's Salthawks.
Yeah, their star player His mom used to work for us. Stephanie Hogan.
Her down at 14 from the 21-yard line. They'll hand it off near side at the 25, so they get the last yardage back. Ball comes loose at the 30, and Bueller's going to fall on it at the 35-yard line.
And collecting the fumble for the Crusaders was none other than Alex Lee. He's one of those guys that just watching him over the years, going back to even youth football, he's a kid that just recovers a lot of fumbles, and it tends to be because he's always in good pursuit angles.
And that was really a big pop right there. I mean, it was a big tackle there by Alex Lee. It was a huge hit.
That is the fourth turnover of the night on Abilene. Of course, Bueller forced 6 last week.
So the 26th turnover on the season for Bueller. They are now plus 19 in the turnover
I got
margin.
a question for you. They picked up some yards and then coughed it up. Do the yards count?
From the Abilene 35. They'll hand it off straight up the middle. Carry across the 30 to the 29-yard line by Jay Spencer all the way down to the 28.
That would really be up to the stat keeper on how they would score that.
Yeah, he picked up about 5 or 6 yards. Then the ball came out, and then the ball scored it forward about another 5 or 6 yards. Just curious.
Well, now, guys, they're starting to work freshmen in. I saw Quentin Pisano checking in for one of the slot receiver spots on the far side for Bueller.
It'll be 2nd down and 2 after a gain of 8 by Spencer. Spencer inside handoff. He's got the first down across the 25 and up to the 23-yard line, 1st and 10.
And Jay Spencer has really been the feature back in JV the last couple weeks since Gavin Patton hasn't been suiting up for varsity, so good to see Jace having some success on the varsity field.
I do think, Jeffrey, I know we're talking about records. I think he will own the record for most kicking points and very possibly, for a season at some point and for his career. He very possibly could do that. 1st and 10 at the 23. Inside carry again by Spencer and stopped for no gain this time on the left side. Jeffrey came into tonight at 56 career points. What's he got tonight?
Number 6, Spencer once again.
10. So he's up to 66, too shy of the great Braden Rose, who is having by the way, a fantastic defensive career at Washburn. Had a pick 6 last week.
Guys, that's the end of the third quarter.
Third quarter runs dead with that running clock. End of 3, just 12 minutes to go. Peter facing a 2nd down when we come back. 52-0 here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
An alarming number of Kansas preteens admit to drinking alcohol in the last 2 weeks, which makes it urgent for caring adults to find every opportunity to talk to their kids about the dangers of underage drinking. Research shows when youth have multiple conversations with adults about avoiding alcohol and other drugs, they listen. Underage drinking lowers inhibition and increases the chance of risky, regrettable behaviors. Find tips on what to say at riseupreno.org or on Facebook at Rise Up Reno Prevention Network.
Did you know that the evaporated salt produced at your local Cargill Salt facility is among the purest of all salts? Cargill Salt of Hudge is proud to support the schools of Reno County. Collaborate, create, succeed. Cargill Salt of Hutchinson.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Bueller Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on AdAsper Radio.
And we're back here to start the 4th quarter from Crusader Stadium in a 52-0 game. It is still 14-7 as Winfield leading Independence going into the 4th. Here's a 2nd down run for the Crusaders to the far side across the 20. And down to the 17-yard line on 2nd down. They're looking at a 3rd down and about 4 here.
So the clock will continue to roll here throughout this entire 4th quarter. They continue to work new guys into the contest.
3rd down and 4 from the 17, far side hash mark. Jeffrey pitches it to the tailback, Spencer, and he's going to be brought down to the backfield at the 21 for a loss. That'll be a loss of 4 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down. And Jeffrey coming over to the sideline to See if they go for it here on 4th down with really nothing to lose. 4th down and 8. Looks like they are going to go for it on 4th down.
So it might be an opportunity here to test Jeffrey Neal's arm.
They'll be out of the I formation. Jeffrey under center. Single receivers either side. There's play action. And Jeffrey's going to run with the football. Flag comes out on the play. So Jeffrey optioning left and brought down near the 24. There's a flag down.
And there was a quick slant open right there. It was with, I believe it was Bryce Ruda on the left side. I mean, this D-back had like 7 yards between each other. So if he just took a little quick slant, he would have gotten the first down with ease.
That may be a hold. It is a hold on the offense. It'll be a turnover on downs on the Crusaders. So for the first time tonight, Bueller has been held out of scoring by Abilene. And the Cowboys will get the ball back. 10:15 to go in the game here. From their own 24-yard line. Abilene 7 points the last 2 weeks coming into this game. Out of the gun is Hartman on 1st down. And a carry up the middle to the 30, 35, 40, 45-yard line and wrestled down near midfield. More yards gained on that play than Abilene had the entire night. And they're gained by Rock Weston, a freshman, all the way up to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Austin Rogers, the near side corner, made the touchdown-saving tackle. It was a nice tackle made in space by the junior.
Gain of 24 yards there by the freshman. 1st and 10 for Abilene at the 48. They have not been on Bueller's side of the 50 yet tonight.
A Bueller Dental Care scoreboard update with 4:01 to go in the 3rd. Bishop Miege took the lead over Tonganoxie 20-13.
Here's Hartman out of the gun. We actually have a new quarterback too. That is the freshman, and an incomplete pass there on the 1st down. So Rock Weston has come in. He took the snap that time at quarterback. Tried to find Miller in the backfield, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, Johnny Arizmendi was right there bearing down on the quarterback, but they tried the little screen pass. The back was not able to catch it, and so it'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for Abilene. So some youngsters up there, or young men on the line right now. Henry Busenbark, one of the defensive ends, as well as Blake Hageman.
Their 9th game of the year, Abilene potentially for a 6th time to be held under 12 points. We told you coming into the night they were minus 19 in takeaways. They've turned it over 4 times tonight. Here's Weston out of the gun, wants to throw, has a man caught at the 30. First pass reception of the night for the Abilene Cowboys, down to the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 there. Best field position of the night as Kyson Becker makes the catch. 1st and 10 at the 24.
Yeah, they just released the tight end right up the field. Tavian Gilliam made the stop there for the Crusaders, but not after they had the nice pickup for the 1st down.
First time Abilene has been in Bueller territory tonight. Down to 7:38 to play. Out of the gun is Weston Rock. Hands it off. Breaking out of a tackle will be the tailback, Zach Miller. Far side carry, forward progress to the 22. Gets a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down at 8. Our coverage tonight brought to you in part by Midway Motors, by Fee Insurance, by Apex Shears, by H&R Block, and by Hutch Rec. Bueller will be home next week. Right now, it looks like it'll be the Winfield Vikings. Winfield now has gone up 21-7 over Independence with 6:35 to go. 2nd down and about 8 here with the quarterback out of the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. They want to throw. Pass complete inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. Shy of the 1st down. Drug out of bounds is the receiver. That is Nathan Hartman on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and about 2.
A couple new Crusaders will check into the game. Owen Schmidt, one of the freshmen, checking in, as well as, I believe, Carter Jones. And now Calvin Shank checking in for D-line as well.
Well, Nathan Hartman out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Well, the Crusaders trying to keep Abilene off the scoreboard here. They've got a 2nd down and about 2, or 3rd down and 2 from the 16 with the quarterback Rock out of the gun. He's going to keep it himself. He'll be hit and drop short. It'll be 4th down. No gain on the play. In fact, they'll lose a yard to the 17-yard line.
Big stick there by the freshman Will Haynen coming in to fill the hole. So now a big 4th down on the way for Abilene as they try to convert and try to break this shutout.
Will Haynen, during the freshman games that I watch, he is an absolute terror on the defensive side. He starts right now in place of Braden Gentry, unavailable to play right now, on the kickoff return. And just seeing him be able to, he goes to the ball after every single play, and it's crazy, and it's good to see him work that hard.
I wonder if he has as many shoes as his sister. 4th down here and 3. Quarterback under center, and they're going to blow the
Abilene will burn a timeout to avoid the delay of game.
Abilene takes a timeout. 5:20 to go here in the 4th. 52-0. Bueller leading Abilene in Bueller territory when we come back on HKFM and the Crusaders Sports Network.
Hi, this is Robin Swanson. I am a candidate for the USD 313 Bueller School Board. For the past 11 years, I have had a passion for helping in the schools and district. I have served on many PTOs, holding officer positions and leading multiple committees. Throughout those years, I have had 4 children in the district, and my youngest son is currently a freshman at BHS. I am running because I want to continue to serve our community and help make our district as successful as possible. On November 2nd, vote for Robin Swanson. Thank you.
Paid for by Robin Swanson.
Are you tired of your dusty or muddy driveway? APAC Kansas Shears Division is here to help. This is Derek Fees. Call us and ask us about our asphalt millings. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, arrange for pickup or delivery at your convenience. Call APAC today at 620-662-2112.
Hi, this is Dr. Dal Hunt with Bueller Dental Care. You're listening to high school football on AdAsper Radio.
4th down and 3. And they're going to put Weston Rock out of the shotgun here. Fakes the handoff, wants to throw out of play action. Receiver catches but hit. Is he short of the 1st down or not?
It's
at the 15?
It's going to be right on the sticks. It depends where they spot the ball.
They're going to signal 1st down.
Yeah, at this point in the game, when you're trailing 52-0, officials are going to do what they can to try to help out the team on the wrong side of the scoreboard.
And another freshman that you said was coming in earlier was Owen Schmidt, Chris. I'm going to give him a little shout out. He is the hardest working kid I have met in my life. Especially being injured for baseball, seeing him work as hard as he can, it was great.
Here's Rock out of the gun. Play action again, and he's going to be lit up in the backfield, and a flag comes out at the end of the play. Team's now 17 of 32 on 4th down this year against the Crusaders. And Rock was swallowed up on that play, and a flag came out right there at the end.
Calvin was right in there on the stop.
Yep, as well as Will Haynen and Lucas Anderson.
Wonder if somebody got a face mask or.
Yeah, I think they're going to probably hit the Crusaders for something going high on the tackle. Big Nathan Hearn checks in.
They are going to mark it off against the Crusaders. That'll be their 4th penalty. It is a face mask call on the sack of the quarterback. And it moves the ball down to the 11-yard line. 1st and goal, Abilene. 3:50 to go here in the game, and a 52-0 score. Only score here in the second half, a 44-yard field goal from Jeffrey Neal. And that is equal to the longest kick that we can find in school history. Out of the gun. The starter is back in a quarterback now for Abilene. Handoff forward progress to the 5-yard line. So Aaron Hartman has returned. And Miller takes it to the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal from there.
Yeah, Calvin Shank in on the stop, as well as Lucas Anderson, as they continue to rotate guys in. We'll try to get some of these young men called.
Trevor Tustin just checked into the ball game along with Mason Hurl. Second and goal from the 5-yard line out of the shotgun. trips right here on second down. It is Hartman to throw, wants to throw, and he has his tight end in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Abilene.
So they break the shutout as he hits Caleb Becker. And so Abilene hits pay dirt for the first time tonight with 2:52 remaining in the game.
Yeah, it was just that little tight end little drive right there. And for the second time tonight, the Crusader defense just fell asleep on it, really. But it was both the same drive.
Well, you know, keep in mind you've got a group of guys out there that have mostly not been on the field together, just kind of mixed and matched. The PAT is no good, low by Caleb Becker. Did somebody get a hand on that?
Matthew Talley got a piece of it, so blocked PAT, so at least the third and second string and freshman JV defense has something to be proud of there.
All right, 52-6, 2:52 to go here in the fourth on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
At Allen Samuels & Hutch, the 2022 model years are available for order, with Dodge Ram 1500 Crew Cab starting at only $28,800. And the best-in-class 3500 Crew starts at only $35,400. Let Allen Samuels Hutch show you a better way to order your next vehicle, the way you want it. That's the Allen Samuels way. Order your new vehicle today for year-end delivery, located on the giant corner of 30th and Lorraine, or visit us online 24/7 at AllenSamuelsHutch.com. And as Mr. Samuels always says,
come by, let's be friends.
Each and every day, WIFCO Steel products are trusted to provide access and infrastructure for a wide range of purposes. For more info on what WIFCO can do for you, go to WIFCOSP.com. WIFCO Steel Products, the experts in steel fabrication.
HKFM.
Hutch has now taken a 28-21 lead over Bishop Carroll in the second half. 20 all between Tonganoxie and Bishop Miege. Winfield now leading Independence 21-7 in the fourth. And Abilene first touchdown of the night to kick off from the 40 end over end. It'll be taken from the 12-yard line. Return near side to the 25. Dancing to the 30 and brought down there.
It's Austin Rogers on the return for Bueller. And a nice job bringing it out near the 30-yard line.
Bueller will be able to run out the final 2:35 here and move on to the second round of play here in 4A.
And the Crusaders now bringing in the freshman, pretty much an entire freshman O. We'll see if there's anybody above the freshman class, but as of right now, it looks like it is pretty much all Frosh out there.
And Mitch McDaniel sprinting onto the field late. Come to the line of scrimmage. 2 minutes to go in the game. Out of the I formation, and a flag comes out, delay a game as the play clock runs to 0.
And that kind of thing happens at this point in the game where you're subbing in so many different guys, and you got freshmen playing with JV guys that haven't necessarily, you get all sorts of different configurations of players out there, so that sometimes happens when you're trying to sub so many guys in.
Hear me out. Pull a little bit of a Bill Belichick here. With the running clock, you really could just not snap the ball again.
Logan Snyder, Cash Carson out there now, the I formation. 1:25 to go. And a fumble. Ball is loose. And Abilene tries to pick it up, tries to scoop and score, and they drop it again. And now there's a scrum for it at the 10-yard line. And we'll see who has it.
Abilene got it.
Abilene tried to scoop and score. It flipped off their hands. And Abilene will recover at the 10-yard line with 1:12 to go in this game.
That's just the 5th fumble loss this season for the Crusaders. Granted, it's the freshman out there at this point.
I feel like there ought to be an asterisk next to that one.
Yeah, it's one of those things that now we've completely subbed down to where it is a freshman defense out there for Bueller.
A couple of them sprinting on late.
A few upperclassmen out there still.
Keaton Parson. And came flying onto the field.
And flying off the field.
Well, we are short a D lineman right now. So we're only playing
36
with
seconds
10.
to go. Abilene wants to throw, and it's dropped incomplete. Abilene trying to strike for another score. And the pass from Hartman to Hartman That is Aaron Hartman to his older brother Nathan, incomplete. 2nd down and 10, 21 seconds to go. Abilene's going to have to hurry to get another playoff here. I think they're going to take a timeout.
They will take a timeout to try to score here.
14 seconds left. 52-6. Abilene takes a timeout. 2nd down coming up on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Mid-Kansas Credit Union, serving Central Kansas from their locations in Moundridge and Bueller. Take control of your accounts and sign up for online banking at mkcu.com with features like remote capture deposit and online bill pay. Member-owned and proudly supporting Crusader arts, athletics, and academics. Mid-Kansas Credit Union at 200 West 2nd in Bueller and in Moundridge. Member NCUA.
At Dick's Phillips 66, our family has kept motorists on the road for nearly 60 years. Hi, this is Janet Dick inviting you to stop. Dick's offers top-tier gasoline, grab-and-go food options, and friendly
And 2nd and 10, 13 seconds left. Rolling out to the far side. Hartman wants to throw to the back of the end zone. It is caught. And they say touchdown in the far corner of the end zone. Are you kidding me?
Well, Abilene can celebrate. Their seniors scored against our freshmen, I guess. But
that's got to be the highlight of their season right there. I mean, come on.
Congratulations. Touchdown Abilene as time expires on the clock. Hartman hits the receiver on the far side of the back of the end zone. He keeps his feet in, and Abilene will end with 12 points on the scoreboard. And that will do it. Well, on a night where everybody got into the game, Bueller led 49-0 at halftime. Jeffrey Neal tacks on a 44-yard field goal in the 3rd quarter. And then Abilene against Bueller's freshman team with 2 scores late. A touchdown passes both by Aaron Hartman. And Abilene will end their season here tonight. In a 52-12 loss, the Cowboys will finish the year at 0-9. Their losing streak extends to 25 games. Bueller now moving on to the 2nd round of the 4A state playoffs at 7-2. Excuse me, at 8-1. And they will likely get Winfield here at home next Friday night. Winfield was leading. Last we had was 21-7 over Independence in the 4th quarter. Coverage of Crusader football tonight brought to you in part by Sunflower Electric Supply, by Red Rock Auto Center, by Edgar Family Dental, by Phoenix Restoration, and by Schmidt Electric. Stay tuned. Our Crusader Locker Room show next on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
You've been listening to exclusive coverage of Crusader football on HKFM. The Crusader Locker Room show is next. Coming up, we'll bring you analysis and break down the numbers from tonight's game. Your home for Crusader football, HKFM.
Have an appliance that doesn't work or a yard full of scrap metal and don't know what to do with it? Hi, this is Kathy from Midwest Iron, and you can save the environment and put a little money in your pocket by bringing it to us at 700 South Main. Call us at 620-662-0551. Midwest Iron, recycling for tomorrow's environment.
When disaster strikes your home or business, shop local. Hi, this is Robin Swanson. My husband Ryan and I and our team at Phoenix Restoration are proud to be Reno County's only locally owned fire and water restoration company. When pipes break, fire strikes, or the unthinkable hits your home or business, call us. With over 10 years of experience, we know how to help you recover. Check us out at phoenixrestorationandroofing.com. Phoenix Restoration. We'll help you rise again after your disaster.
Fire up the grill for football. It's tailgating time. Stop by and grab a party pack or our brought bag sampler. Both are value priced and a great way to feed a crowd. Shop with us at Jackson Meat for homemade tailgating favorites. Fresh, friendly, and local. That's Jackson Meat in downtown Hutchinson.
Rise and shine. It's daylight time and time to go to your happy place.
October is a fun time at your 30th Street Daylight Donuts. Pumpkin spice, apple spice, and all your favorite fall flavor donuts are here. Daylight Donuts are always a perfect way to celebrate or say thank you. Order ahead for bigger orders and we'll have it all boxed up and ready to go. In fact, you can place your order right now at HutchinsonDaylightDonuts.com. Happy fall, y'all, from your 30th Street Daylight Donuts.
HKFM.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Our Crusader Locker Room Show, 52-12. The final we're just kind of discussing here in the press box. A little irritated giving up I know the team will be that they gave up those 2 late scores. However, they both don't mean a whole lot. And, for Abilene, credit, doesn't matter who you're playing. You don't ever give up till the game's over. So, but I know that Bueller takes a lot of pride in those second, third, fourth string guys coming in and holding that shutout. And Abilene able to get a couple of touchdowns late.
Well, Chris is talking about how the officials don't call anything. The end on this side of the field for Abilene was lined up a foot offsides. And the kid asked the official, "Am I okay?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I'm going, "He's a foot offsides."
Well, a lot of grace in those situations. You see it a lot in basketball, too. Fewer travels get called at the end of a game.
Yep.
A little bit of grace there.
Yep, that definitely, like I said, it has to be pretty egregious for an official when somebody's down 52-0 to call basically anything on the team that is getting hammered. But anyway, to talk about the game as a whole, the thing that I was really happy with, even at the half, since that's where really the starters stopped playing, was just that the Crusaders were facing an opponent that was winless, a team that everybody was saying, oh, you're going to just destroy. But I felt like we did a great job of coming out, having great effort, great intensity, and really just working on just trying to better ourselves and taking these guys serious.
Yeah, well, also, there's a little unneeded motivation today because there was an article in Salina put out, I believe it was last night or something like that, about an interview with the Abilene coach saying how the seniors are jumping off the walls, working harder than they have these last couple weeks, and he's thinking that they could be able to make an upset of the year. And we're just sitting here like, oh my goodness, are you serious? So they had these hung up all over the locker rooms today. And also, the article had their stats wrong. They said that Andover Central was a 5A school, too, that we split 5A teams. I'm just looking at that article like,
a little soreness. Do I detect a little soreness? And I'll say this, too. If you're the head coach for Abilene, in your second season, if you're Brad Nix, you're going to do anything, push any button, pull any lever to try and get these kids to buy in and get this thing turned around. And I know, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of buy-in, and it's hard to stop a snowball once it's been rolling downhill for a while, right? So
yes. But one thing I'll tell you, hearing that little story, Tyler, I hadn't heard about that until just now. There's an old adage, they call it bulletin board material for a reason. I know back when I was coaching, we would talk to our kids all the time, don't ever give anything to give the other team something to get fired up about. And so, yeah, that wasn't a smart move on their part.
You talked about just the fact the way Bueller came out tonight. We alluded to that in the pregame that, you can't pencil in a win until the game's over, but you're pretty confident you're going to win tonight. But some things you can control, not coming out making a ton of mistakes. Working on cutting down on the penalties, not doing some of the boneheaded stuff that can lead to trouble down the road, but just keep that momentum going, come out and play solid football.
Yeah, and I feel like the Crusaders took steps forward in that, Mark, and blocked really well. Sam ran well. The varsity and even the JV did a great job of taking care of the football. Bueller was only turned over once tonight, and that was clear down when the freshmen were playing in their first ever varsity game. So, no, it was a game where the Crusaders get one step closer to trying to get to Topeka, and did so in a good, solid, convincing fashion. And it says a lot about these guys' focus, that these guys don't take anybody for granted, and that says a lot about their maturity. And, I really do think this team has a great shot of getting to Topeka if they keep the ball rolling.
All right, 52-12, the final. We'll get post-game thoughts here from head coach Steve Warner. Coach, we talked about in the pregame and during the broadcast tonight against a team that's struggling so badly that that you should come out and beat. Important, though, that you come out and play the game well. You guys had another great first half tonight and looked really good on the offensive side of the football.
Well, I'm very pleased with the way the kids came out. This is a game where they could very easily just overlook it and not get ready, not be mentally prepared. We had a great week of practice, and they were prepared before the game. They were focused like they were for every one of them. And one thing, I said we got better. I noticed our offensive line, it's definitely getting better, and that's something we've been working on all year long with kind of having an inexperienced crew. But they're starting to do some things very well, and we're excited. It sounds like Winfield won 21-7, so we'll be playing Winfield right here next Friday.
Yeah, how Coach, important in these games too. You talked about it getting better, but just continuing that positive momentum that you built from the second half of the season, and obviously, mentally, you've got to keep yourself tuned up and ready to go. So,
well, McPherson had a bye, and our coaches we talked about. I think I'd rather play the game. Yes, it might be helpful at this time to have the forfeit that which obviously was a very unfortunate situation. But I'd rather our kids keep playing and stay focused and have the game and do the things that we did, getting better and playing a live game. And then, of course, it's obviously great when we can do this and let everybody play. So that was exciting for the future of our program, too.
Sam Elliott continues to leap up the all-time records, passing Jordan Oden tonight. And did a lot of his running in traffic tonight. He made a lot of guys miss out there.
No, he was amazing. He did make people miss. It's amazing what he did. It's just, wow. And there were some times we had some blown blocking assignments too, and he was making moves in the backfield again, and he still would get 10 yards. So, again, it's just pretty amazing what Sam can do, and hats off to him for beating Jordan Oden's record, because what a career Jordan Oden had here. And every record that he continues to beat, I know if we go as far as what we want to, he has a chance to get the all-time rushing record. And it's pretty neat. Tanner Fisher has that, and he's already texted me and said that'd be awesome if he could beat it. Just the support from the alumni and how people are following us and telling us great job, because they watch what's going on. And Ross Heide had a record broken last week, and I know he went over to Jeffrey Neal's house and congratulated him. That's just class of our kids and the alumni. Very, very pleased and proud to be here, and just the kids and the alumni and everybody that we have. It's a great place.
See, you wouldn't like me very much as a player, Coach. I'm a sore loser. I'd root for you to win, but I'd still want to keep my record.
Well, records are made to be broken.
That is true, and see a couple of other plays that stand out. You forced 4 more turnovers tonight. This defense continues just to make plays, and one of my favorite plays of the game, Deontay Campbell, not able to grab onto the football on that interception, but able to flip it up to Matt Eddy, and so defense continues to make big plays.
Matthew's a linebacker, and we're always on the kids to run to the ball. And obviously, he's running to the ball when he can get a ball. It was popped up by Deontay like that, and it was neat to see. And again, you're right. If we can continue to force turnovers, it will help us a lot down the road.
And then Jeffrey Neal wasn't good enough to make it from 34, so he had to make it from 44 yards. And
I'm not sure where that is on the record, but it was pretty neat. He's been able to do that in practice, so it's definitely something that we wanted to work on, and you never know when we might need the field goal like that.
Well, the longest other field goal that I could find in school history was 44. I don't know that that's official, but that's the other longest one that I could come up with. So it's got to be right up there.
Double check that. Yes, that's very cool for him.
Absolutely.
And it came at a good time too, because we had our I could have kicked one before the half. I just didn't feel like that was right. But with our JV having the ball and we have a chance to score a field goal with our JV offense in, then I felt good about taking that field goal. I didn't want to take one before the half.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, you get the big win. Winfield did win tonight 21-7 over Independence. And so you get to play the Vikings for a second time next Friday night. And, boy, we'll talk a lot about this Monday night, but it's the thing that I remember about them. They're well coached, and they'll be very, very physical. So
they were very physical. It was a physical game. I remember we won 18-6, and Jackson Childs had pick six himself, and then we really milked the clock. And I hate to say that I've already watched the film and started kind of in the back of my mind for Winfield, but I have, and they played us very tough, so we're going to have to be ready to go. And I know that they kind of went on a losing streak there for a while, but they took McPherson to overtime. So our kids will be ready, and they have our full attention, and I know the kids will be ready to play.
All right, Coach, appreciate you. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you on our Coaches Show Monday.
Thank you.
That is head coach Steve Warner. We'll be back. Get you final stats, our play and player of the game next on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
You're listening to the Crusader Locker Room Show. Listen to Crusader football on your smartphone with the Ad Astra radio app. Join head coach Steve Warner for the Crusader Coaches Show, Monday nights at 6:30 on HKFM.
For sand, gravel, concrete, and decorative rock, call the professionals at Gravel and Concrete Incorporated. Locally owned and family operated, John, Chris, Laura, and Lyle Paulson are always happy to help you with your sand, gravel, and concrete needs. And be sure to check out their large selection of landscape holders. That's Gravel and Concrete Incorporated. Call 422-3249.
Serving all of Central Kansas, Gravel and Concrete Incorporated, 7010 North Nickerson Road. Call 422-3249.
Prairie Bank of Kansas is a local bank with local concerns. You'll find us in the heart of the community, helping wherever we're needed. We enjoy working with local schools to help promote activities like sports and extracurricular learning. We hope you support these valuable activities too. We'll be right here with you. Visit one of our locations in Stafford, Bueller, Inman, or Hutchinson, or check us out online at prairiebankks.com. Prairie Bank of Kansas. How banking should be.
Some of the most important ingredients are the ones you can't see. At Countryside Feed, we offer consistency. Feed recipes customized specifically for your herd with meticulous formulas to provide reliable nutrition time after time. And traceability, the ability to track ingredients from field to feed to farm. To learn more, go to countrysidefeed.com or stop by and see us in Hillsboro or Mound Ridge.
Your livestock need top quality feed. Made with pride by Countryside.
Have a smile you want. Come and see us today. We have time for you. Open Friday and Saturday.
Hi, I'm Dr. J. You can have the healthy, beautiful smile you deserve. Come see me today at Hutchinson Family Dental.
Dr. J. Stuckey, Hutchinson Family Dental.
HKFM.
And welcome back here. Our coverage tonight, Crusader football, brought to you in part by Abilene Animal Hospital, by Gravel and Concrete, also by Erickson Custom Building, by Yoder Meats, and by McKenzie Paint and Body. Let's get to our final stats tonight. Brought to you by Adams Brown Strategic Allies and CPAs. Proudly serving businesses in Kansas for the past 70 years, online at adamsbrowncpa.com.
Well, no doubt the Crusaders are going to have some good numbers tonight on the statistics. And Bueller tonight, total offense, 333 yards of total offense tonight for Bueller compared to Abilene's 77 yards. Through the air, it was 14 yards passing for Bueller, 52 for Abilene, and we'll get into those individual stats here in a moment. Rushing-wise, Bueller goes over the 300-yard mark with 319 yards rushing compared to Abilene's 25. And penalty-wise, Bueller with 6 penalties for 50, Abilene 4 for 20. Time of possession was dang near dead even with 23 minutes and change. Another big stat that stands out, Bueller with 20 first downs, Abilene with just 5. Individually tonight, Bradley Neal, 1 of 3 through the air for 14 yards and a touchdown pass. That was all in the first half. For Abilene, they had 2 different quarterbacks this evening. Aaron Hartman, the starter, finishes 3 of 7 for 21 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an INT. And Weston Rock, who came in for relief for a bit in the second half, goes 2 of 3 for 31 yards. Individual rushing yards for the Crusaders, Sam Elliott leading the charge, 21 carries for 257 yards, 5 touchdowns all in the first half. Second leading rusher tonight, a fellow senior, Levi Atherton, 2 carries for 27 yards. Marcus Voss, 4 carries for 12. Gavin Patton, 1 carry for 11 yards. Also carrying tonight, Nick Gasway had 1 carry for 9 yards. Cameron Campbell had 1 carry for 7 yards and a touchdown. Jay Spencer, 4 carries for 5 yards. Brock McCurdy, 1 carry for 4. And Jeffrey Neal, 2 carries for 2 yards. And Hayden Perez had a carry as well. For Abilene leading rusher, Zach Miller had 17 carries for 27 yards. Weston Rock had 5 carries for 9 yards. Individual receiving tonight for Bueller, Bo Van Bruggen, the only receiver tonight, the 1 14-yard touchdown reception on the tight end dump. Receiving wise for Abilene, Caleb Becker goes 2 for 33 yards and a touchdown, and Cooper Wildley had a reception for 10 yards and a touchdown, and then 2 other guys had receptions of 6 yards or less for Abilene.
All right, Bueller dominates again tonight to win 52-12. Our play and player of the game, our Dix Phillip 66 Phillip of the game tonight. Phillip on top tier gasoline, snacks, and more. Had Dix Phillip 66, family owned for nearly 60 years. Every journey begins with a stop at Dix Phillip 66. And how do you guys feel about the INT play? Let's see, that came. Let me look back at my notes. It happened somewhere. There it is. Came with 4:28 to go in the first on a second down play from Abilene from their own 22. Deontay Campbell flipped the ball up in the air away from the receiver. It was picked off by Matt Eddy and returned to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that was great to see Matthew Eddy continuing to make plays. And you talked about it with Colin rolling out. Eddy was going to get called on more defensively tonight, and there isn't a lot of drop-off anytime you plug Eddy anywhere out there on the field.
Yeah, anytime is Eddy time, and, I mean, he didn't get a lot of offensive action. I mean, Bo being the only completion of the night, but just being able to step up on the defensive side is great. But now I'm going to pass it to Caden Warner, give him for a little bit, because this kid, he toughs it out all night long, just like Colton does. Out on the field, though, get some footage for us, and so I'm just going to give it to him, give him some time because he's wanted to talk.
All right, I guess Caden will help us decide who the player of the game is then. Our Schmidt Electric spark of the game earlier, we talked about that, and our Phillip of the game, now our man of steel tonight, Wifco Steel Products, from storage tanks to steel walkways, stairways, and platforms. Wifco Steel Products, the expert in steel fabrication, online at wifcosp.com. I don't really have a favorite tonight, fellas, so you guys have suggestions. I'm open.
I mean, everyone on Bueller, I mean, they all played good tonight. It was a good game all around for everybody that stepped on the field.
But you got to pick somebody.
I got to pick someone. Tonight.
Help him out, Christopher.
Well, I know it seems like a broken record.
Sam Elliott.
Yes,
we're going to hear Sam Elliott's name again.
But you become a third all-time leading rusher in school history and do it in a half. I mean, that was just impressive. And you talked about it tonight, too. He had some nice long runs, but a lot of them he had to run in traffic, and he really did a nice job on the cutbacks tonight, Caden.
Yeah, he really did. He did a great job tonight breaking the tackles and just cutting through everybody. It was great to see again. More great work from Sam Elliott.
All right, I will admit I'm going to miss watching him run.
Yeah, he's a special back, and I mean he's the third best back in school history already, yardage-wise, and has a chance to be the all-time leading rusher. So, Bueller fans, if you hadn't had the opportunity to get out and see Sam Elliott yet, I was just telling one of my neighbors that hadn't been to a Bueller game in a while that needs to come out and see Sam Elliott. He's a special kid, and we got a lot of other special kids suiting up and trying to make a run at this 4A state title.
Hey, and if you can't make it out to watch it, you know where you can watch it at? Crusader Sports Network.
Yeah, our CSN crew, and we'll be back right after this from some other final scores and to wrap it up here on HKFM and the Crusader Sports Network.
Follow our Crusader football coverage on the sports page at adastroradio.com and on your phone with the Ad Astro Radio app. The Crusader Locker Room Show. You're listening to Bueller Crusader Football on HKFM.
Hi, this is Jade with IdeaTech. We love bringing internet freedom to the residents and businesses of Bueller, Kansas. IdeaTech is a proud supporter and the preferred internet provider of the Bueller Crusaders. As the Crusaders know, speed wins. We back up our lightning-fast internet with a customer-first philosophy. That means you'll talk to a live person from our offices in Bueller when you call in. If you're not already a customer, go to ideatech.com and click on Check Availability, or call 620-543-5000 to inquire about our services.
An alarming number of Kansas preteens admit to drinking alcohol in the last 2 weeks, which makes it urgent for caring adults to find every opportunity to talk to their kids about the dangers of underage drinking. Research shows when youth have multiple conversations with adults about avoiding alcohol and other drugs, they listen. Underage drinking lowers inhibition and increases the chance of risky, regrettable behaviors. Find tips on what to say at riseupreno.org or on Facebook at Rise Up Reno Prevention Network.
The medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed. The lowest price is guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Erickson Custom Building has a great plan and a budget suited for your needs. Whether it's a new build, a remodel of a kitchen, interior, exterior, or an insurance restoration project, Erickson Custom Building provides quality craftsmanship and superior customer service. We stand behind our work and have lasting relationships with vendors, suppliers, and most importantly, with you, the customer. Erickson Custom Building, proud to support all high school activities. Call 620-585-2816 or visit EricksonCustomBLDG.com.
HKFM.
All right, welcome back here one final time as we take a final look at our Bueller Dental Care scoreboard tonight. I believe, T-Money, that Miege had gone back up on Tonganoxie. Hutch was beating Bishop Carroll there for a while in 6A.
Yeah, Hutch is going over Bishop Carroll right now, 28-21.
Just looking down for some other 4A scores. Chris, what do you got on the network tonight?
Well, I've got elsewhere on the network. Well, I want to do this one before I forget. Wamego eventually pulls away from Great Bend tonight. This one just went final 42-21. So Wamego punches their ticket for regionals. But, yeah, elsewhere on the network tonight, last score we had out of Haven, Garden Plain had a sizable lead. It was 42-8. We haven't gotten the final on that yet. Just got a final out of Kingman. Kingman defeated and ended Trinity Catholic season tonight 52-13, so that'll set up a matchup between Kingman and Garden Plain next week. Hillsborough had a big night over Douglas 62-7, so they'll take on Chaparral at Joel Ween Stadium next week. Cheney beats the Clearwater Fighting Indians tonight 48-14. That was on Sports 1 on the AdAst Radio app. We talked about it earlier. Andale had the big win tonight over Hugoton 53-2, so Andale will advance to regional play in Class 3A.
We've got quite a few 4A scores, some of them final, some of them not. But I'll give you what I have, and then we'll kind of find out where that stacks things up. We'll start with Eudora beating Ottawa tonight in the East, 48-12. And so they will advance on to play Atchison. Atchison beat Fort Scott tonight, 14-6. So that'll be one matchup in the East next week. Piper all over Coffeyville, 46-6 tonight. And they will likely play Paola in the second round. Second half late, Paola was leading Lansing 33-14. In the West, Andover Central blanks Wellington tonight 42-0. And Central will get Circle next week. Circle beats Rose Hill tonight 28-14. So Andover Central and Rose Hill will play in the second round. Augusta over El Dorado 26-19. Don't know that that's necessarily final, but Augusta will get Wamego next week, 42-21. That'll be in Wamego. And can I just call that Augusta wins?
I think Augusta will get it. Okay.
I do.
Well, we just got a scoreboard update from elsewhere in AVCTL action. Hutch is going into overtime, tied up at 28 apiece. And we just got the final two on that Garden Plain Haven game. Garden Plain did defeat Haven tonight 42-16.
And we also have an update on the Miege and Tonganoxie score. Right now, very late in the fourth quarter, a little under 2 minutes to go. The Bishop Miege Stags are going over the Tonganoxie Chieftains 34-20.
So Miege pulling away. Baser Linwood beats Labette County tonight 53-8. So Baser will take on the winner of St. James Academy and Lewisburg, and most likely that'll be St. James.
Yeah, St. James last score, they were hammering Lewisburg. It was 44-0 was the last score we had. So that's probably the big matchup on the top side of the East bracket. The winner of that game, I have a feeling, will be the team facing whoever comes out of the bottom of the East.
Chanute beats Bonner Springs tonight 35-0. If Miege holds on, they'll get Chanute next week. I'm going to call it again. Miege beats Chanute.
Yeah, and then you look at the rest of that bracket. I mean, literally the only hope on that side of the bracket of maybe beating Miege would be Eudora, because you look at Atchison. Atchison was 7-1 tonight, playing a Fort Scott team that had one win on the season, and Atchison barely beat them.
Yeah. Tyler Adams has got family from Chanute, so he didn't like my call there. Mulvane was leading Ulysses 46-16, and Mulvane goes ahead and wins, so it'll be Mulvane and Mac. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, McPherson's got to make the trek down to Lyle Couch Stadium, and those two in the regular season, Mulvane got the best of the Pups a few weeks ago. That's who the Pups played immediately after they played us. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I know the Ellis kid from Mulvane, I've heard nothing but just amazing things about him, Tyler.
Well, he's going to North Dakota State, and I mean, they're historically good in the FBS Division I. I believe it's the FBS, right?
Yes.
I get those
they're
mixed.
FCS.
Yeah, Football Championship Series. But, yeah, he's very good, but I just feel like for some reason I just have this eerie feeling that McPherson is going to have some chip on their shoulder just losing to Mulvane. But I really do think that Mulvane is going to win. And, Aaron, I just feel like that Miege is not the same. I mean, Tonganoxie came to the Miege's house, actually, and they played a very decent game against Miege. And it's nothing with family. Actually, my mom's in Chanute right now taking care of my Mimi. She had a knee replacement. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mimi. Hi, Papa.
Oh,
but
wow.
Anyways.
We've gone off the rails.
I've lost it. Anyways, Chanute's a really good team. They did lose.
I believe that they are.
They lost to Circle, which we destroyed, but Miege is just not the same team.
And this is not putting anyone down. Please hear me when I say this. They also play in the SEK.
You are absolutely right.
And
Bishop Miege does not.
Yes. And Aaron has we were talking all about these family members. Aaron,
I have all kinds of family in Southeast Kansas.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this moment for years. We haven't talked about your family in Mulberry lately, Aaron.
So
we can talk about SEK
I haven't seen them in years, so I'm sure they're fine. And of course, Winfield wins tonight 21-7 over Independence. So we can kind of set the West for you. Next Friday, it'll be Winfield here at Bueller. McPherson will go to Mulvane, and the winner of those two games will meet 2 weeks from tonight. We expect it to be Augusta at Wamego, and then Circle at Andover Central, and those two winners will meet in the quarterfinals as well. And man, just if there's one upset in that second round, look for Augusta. I'm telling you, watch out for the Orioles.
Yep. Well, and Wamego, here's the thing. Great Bend put up some points tonight on Wamego, and Great Bend, guys, has not been – I mean, it's been a rough year out there at Great Bend. So, and just the last couple of years, the NCKL, just top to bottom, not one of the tougher leagues out there. And that's, of course, the league that Abilene came out of. But, it'll be interesting to see how the Orioles do heading up to Wamego to take on Wamego.
On the east side, it'll be St. James at Baser-Linwood, Casey Piper at Paola, Bishop Miege at Chanute, Eudora at Atchison. And those will be the final 16 teams. Or is it? No, it's more than that. It's still 32. I have no idea. We're down to 16, aren't we?
Numbers are confusing, Aaron. It's okay.
Numbers are really hard. All right, so Bueller wins it tonight. Don't forget to join us Monday. Our Crusader Coaches Show will be live at 6:30 from Taco John's in Hutchinson. Coach Steve Warner will join us then to wrap up tonight's game and look ahead to the Winfield Vikings for a second time this season. Sterling College football on the network tomorrow as the Warriors are in. Speaking of Winfield, they'll be down in Winfield to take on the Mound Builders. That'll be a 1:30 kick from Winfield tomorrow. And our pregame on the air at 1 o'clock. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Have a happy Halloween.
Yes, great. It'll be fun Halloween tomorrow, and best of luck to all the Crusaders competing all over the state. We got, of course, we talked about
track and field.
Cross-country kids running
cross-country
at Wamego, and, of course, the band trying to win a state title at KBA in Lawrence. And Aaron, say a prayer for the Shank family tomorrow as we enter your favorite city in America.
You enjoy that view from the hill. It's wonderful this time of year.
I'm just mentally trying to prepare myself.
All the trees are turned orange now. It's going to be beautiful. You'll love it.
Well, I will say this, and I don't want to get Mr. Stambaugh in trouble, but I think he did tell the band that he thought there would be more people watching the KBA tomorrow than at KU's last game against OU.
Yeah, KU won that game. If games were played for 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters.
If it was a hockey game, they would have won.
I know.
A 3-period game.
Who needs that last quarter? All right, that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you next Friday night here at Crusader Stadium. Crusaders and the Vikings for Chris Shank, Cliff Shank, Tyler Adams. I've got so many people in the box now. Kate, good job tonight. Thanks down on the sideline, snapping photos.
Absolutely.
And our Iceman out there on the camera. Heinze, have a good weekend, buddy. We'll see y'all next Friday. Here in the West, you've been listening to Crusader Football here on HKFM, the Crusader Sports Network.
Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Hutch are proud supporters of high school sports. And of course, we are proud to support our community any way we can. Good luck to all of our athletes this season. We hope you have a fun and memorable and most of all, healthy season. Be